Computer's being a bit laggy today. Hello! Welcome in to everybody tuning in over on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. If you don't know what we do here, we basically debate Trump supporters until we rage quit, which is typically at around the 4-hour mark. The point of these live streams is to change minds while also trying to educate, while also just trying to spread awareness about, why the Trump administration has gone it all wrong. So hopefully the liberals watching can take that information to their close friends, family, loved ones, etc. that do support Trump to attempt to change their mind. Now, we did have a Trump supporter already loaded into the live stream that I was going to bring to you as the first guest. Their name was Anthony. As I was starting the YouTube stream, they hit the jets. They dipped. I couldn't believe the liberals. Sorry, that was the YouTube live. I couldn't tell you why. So now we're going to go back to the hunt. We're still looking for a Trump supporter to come up here and talk to us. Now, if you're new on the YouTube, once again, the way that we get people loaded in is through TikTok. So we're dual streaming. And over on TikTok, they have a nice guest request feature where they could request up and join. Just keep in mind for everybody that's in that queue that we have rules. They are very loud, so we're going to have to remove them. We have rules. They're pretty simple. You just got to be an American adult that's at least 18 years old that supports Trump. As long as you're following the rules, we won't have any issues, so I'd really appreciate if you guys would. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? Are you MAGA?
Dean, I'm 19, sorry, and I'm from Kentucky, and I support Trump.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me. It's not working for me.
What's not working for you?
Hello?
Hi, I could hear you. For everybody on TikTok, can you hear him? I know those on YouTube can. Can everybody on TikTok, can you hear him? Let's give the chat a second to catch up.
Hello?
Why aren't they answering me? Why aren't they answering me? They're not answering me on TikTok. Dude, come on. For those in the TikTok chat, can you hear the guest? We're experiencing some lag. Okay. Oh, chat. There's some really big lag. So on my phone, I see the updated chat. Now on my computer, like the guest is lagging, everything is lagging. Here, let me give the computer a moment to catch up. Right now, it's like giving me notifications that I'm adding and removing guests that we've already had up and down. This is weird. This is really strange. I don't know why it's just lagging on my computer. Unfortunate. I know it's not lagging on the front end for any of you guys, but it's lagging on the back end for me. Like right now on my computer screen, it's showing that I'm loading in that last guy, Pierce. So I guess let's wait for the computer to catch up. That's really strange. Ramona, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal saying your up dog might not be working. What is an up dog? Thank you for the $5. Dave as well. Thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. Saying, hey, Dean, hope your day is going well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5, you two. And let's try to get back into those debates. I think that the lag is gone. We're going to try to load Pierce back up in here. Let's see if this is seamless, and I think it is. Okay, welcome back, Pierce. Is everything working now?
Yeah, everything's working now. I can hear you.
Great. I don't know what the hell is going on. We were like both lagging. That was weird. Must be an issue with
No, you're
TikTok.
good. No worries.
Hey, Pierce, man, we already know that you support Trump. You told us that you're 19. Awesome. Take it away. Why the hell do you support this orange, fascist, authoritarian, unconstitutional president, to say the least?
Simply, there's a lot of things I don't agree with, but I do support him still because I don't agree with a lot of things because I don't agree with a lot of things the Democratic Party says.
Ooh,
but
okay. What do the Democrats do worse than taking away your constitutional rights?
Taking away your constitutional rights. That's exactly where I was just about to go, Dean. Second Amendment rights, I'm a big believer in those. I'm a big believer in when somebody comes in my house that I should be able to have the right to defend myself with any weapon I see fit.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Out of the last two administrations, it's funny that you bring this up because out of the last two administrations, the only president that we've had that has infringed upon your Second Amendment rights is Trump. So in his first term, he passed that bump stock ban. The Supreme Court ruled it as unconstitutional. And yeah, he violated your two-way rights. He also said that he wanted to be able to take people's guns first and then give them due process second. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris administration, what the hell did they do? Absolutely nothing. So not only has Donald Trump infringed upon your First Amendment rights by taking away your ability to ban the American flag, not only has Donald Trump infringed upon your Second Amendment rights by passing that bump stock ban in his first administration, but he's also infringed upon the 14th Amendment. On his first day in office, he passed Executive Order number 14160, in which banned birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants born on the soil, even though it's guaranteed to them. And the cherry on top is when he called for the termination of all rules, articles, and regulations, even those found in the Constitution in December of 2022. So if you're a constitutionalist and you care about that divine piece of paper, Donald Trump would be one of your least favorite presidents in this country's history.
So specifically, I genuinely just care about the Second Amendment right.
I know, he
when
violated that one too. I just added on
Yeah,
others.
so
And you should
when
care about
he-
other rights too. You should care about free speech too. You should care
Free
about...
speech matters, and the amendment. I believe it was yesterday that he passed the American flag law. Was that, or did he try and put that into law? Is that right?
Yeah, Susan, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate that, Susan. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I interrupted you there. I apologize.
No worries, man. That's baloney. I'm not going to cuss on here, but that's baloney. I don't agree with burning the American flag, but if you think it's cool to burn the American flag, I'm not going to be the one to tell you not to. But another thing that I don't agree with is immigrants taking wages away and taking jobs away. If you would debate about that, guns specifically, the bump stock, I agree with that being banned. Personally, I agree with checks and balance, not checks and balances. What's the word? Background checks on guns and all that. I think we should have more control, but I don't think we should even be. If that makes sense.
Okay, well, you cut out there at the end, but basically,
Sorry.
the only thing I really took away from your response there is that you came up here telling us that you care about the Constitution, specifically the Second Amendment rights. I tell you that Donald Trump hasn't only violated your Second Amendment rights, but he's also violated your First Amendment rights. He's called for the violation of the 22nd, and he's violated the 14th. And
The
then your
14th, I
response-
disagree with.
And then
The
your
14th, the 14th. I
if
think
you would
that,
allow me to finish speaking here. And then your
No, you're good,
response to
sorry.
that was to say, basically, that you actually agree with his violation of your Second Amendment rights. So it's funny because you came up here telling us that you support Trump as president because you want to protect your Second Amendment rights. But then as soon as I point out how Donald Trump has violated them, you actually agree with him violating your Second Amendment rights. Has Kamala Harris violated your Second Amendment rights? Did Biden violate your Second Amendment rights?
The difference is Kamala Harris and Biden wanted to ban AR-15s, and Trump just wanted to ban bump stocks.
Wait,
and
if
that was it.
Biden wanted to ban AR-15s, why didn't he?
He tried, and he just couldn't get it done.
Wait, when did he try to do that?
Do you not remember I believe it was in Texas. There was a mass shooting with an AR-15. Now, I believe people kill people, not guns kill people. That's a hefty debate and topic there.
the,
But
the solution is common sense.
the solution is more
People kill
background checks and
people
don't
with
sell
guns.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to kill somebody, I could use a gun, I could use a knife, I could use my fucking bare hands, but I'm not going to go do
why aren't you
that.
responding about the Second Amendment? I feel like we're kind of getting lost in the weeds here. You told us that you
I'm
voted for
sorry.
Trump to protect your Second Amendment. Donald Trump violated your Second Amendment. Biden didn't.
Biden wanted to ban certain weapons. Trump wanted to ban accessories to weapons. If that's the way I see it. Is Trump wanted to ban something that I can buy to put on a gun. Biden wanted to ban the gun outright.
Okay, so here's my first response. If banning AR-15s was unconstitutional, then Kamala Harris wouldn't have been able to ban them since the Supreme Court would have struck it down, and Kamala Harris supported and respected the checks and balances and supported/respected, not doing things that are belligerently unconstitutional. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is a man that has actually violated your Second Amendment rights and is a man that has no respect for the Constitution or the rights in which it guarantees.
I disagree with that a little bit, but
He's called for
he
its termination. How could you say that he respects something that he's called for the termination of?
He called for termination of what?
Of the Constitution. All rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, in the Truth Social Post in December of 2022.
Did he say why can you find the True Social Post and just read it what it says?
Yeah, the reason why is because he thought that 2020 was stolen from him. And he was basically like, in order to rectify this being stolen from me, we could just throw the Constitution out the window.
That's stupid.
Right, which
I
shows he has
don't-
no respect for the Constitution.
Got it. Okay. Well, another reason I voted for Trump is, yeah, I'll submit to you on that. And you can win that. Yeah, Trump has more contempt with the Constitution than Kamala did. But another point why I voted for Trump is I disagree with the fact that we are just letting countless undocumented immigrants in, and using our taxpayer dollars to pay for their housing and pay for their food and pay for everything else when them not.
A guest on your live has violated our violent behaviors and criminal activities policy. Well, Price, you just lost your TikTok account. I don't think you should have. My guess would be that he got that ban from his rhetoric when he was saying like GUNs don't kill people, fill in the blank. Maybe even I just violated it right there. I'm trying not to. I'm pretty sure that sentence got him literally banned for violent behaviors and criminal activities. Price, just know that I stand in solidarity with you on TikTok's fucking crazy ass bans right there. Okay. Price, if you get that appealed, feel free to come back up and I'd love to continue our conversation. But in response to your last points there about undocumented immigrants, they don't qualify for any federal assistance like Section 8, food stamps, EBT, Medicaid, Medicare, etc. And they're net positive contributors into the economy as they pay $100 billion per year in taxes. And we only spend around $30 billion on them, all things considered. So that point was wrong. And hopefully, you'll be able to get your account back and you could come back up here and continue that conversation. I guess in the meantime, we're going to go to move on to the next guest. Super unfortunate, but oh well. I have a couple donos to thank here in the meantime. Susan, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Susan didn't leave a message, just to the love. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. As well as Charlotte with the $10 on PayPal. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you. Then Lakin with the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat saying, hey, Diva, sorry. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Lakin. Thank you for the 10. And then Austin, thank you for the $10 on YouTube Super Chat as well, saying, what is your mic setup? You have such a clear voice. It is the Sony, Shure SM7B piped into a mix amp, piped into my computer. It's pretty simple, but it definitely sounds good, man. I appreciate that. Let's try to find that next Trump supporter right now. Let's get that next guest connecting as we speak, as well as Lola. Thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. And Riley with a 10 as well. Thank you, Riley. Show some love to Riley down below saying, hey, Dean, thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Somebody in the YouTube chat just brought up a good point. That last guest said that he could unalive somebody with like a knife or bare hands. That's what got him banned. Okay. Anyways, how old are you?
I'm 18. I live in Oklahoma.
Perfect. And how do I pronounce your name?
It's Javen.
Javen. Okay. Take it away, man. Take it away, Javen. Why the hell do you support the worst president of either of our two lifetimes?
All right, so I'm not gonna lie. I was raised in it. My dad and my mom, they both brought me up supporting Trump, and honestly, I'm trying to find the words. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I really came to just learn your perspective, and I've been watching the live, and a lot of the things that you have to say, I hear you out, and I understand, and I think that you're making really great points. So if we could just take a little time and explain to me a little more, that'd be great.
Here's what I'll say, man. If you're just looking like for a little bit more information on what my perspective is, I would highly implore you to watch the debates and maybe to watch my videos. I guess like for like the conversations on live, I try to leave them towards debates or like me challenging the way that you think. But I think it's really awesome that you're kind of like casting that net out there and you're willing to explore alternative thought processes. Myself and everybody else watching this live really appreciates you for that. And I'm proud of you, bro. I understand what it's like to kind of grow up in a Republican household. I understand what it's like to not really have those beliefs challenged at all. And I'm not going to like shame you at all because it seems like right now is a point in your life where your beliefs are starting to be challenged and you're open-minded to it. So that's awesome, man. And I mean that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for all your time. If I need to go ahead and leave, and I'll go ahead and watch some of your videos and catch up on everything. I appreciate y'all for all of y'all's time. I appreciate the chat saying WJaven. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah, you as well, man. You as well. You have a blessed day too. Man. Those are the people that I want to be watching the live. Absolutely, dude. Like, imagine being raised in a conservative family in Oklahoma. Okay, if you're not conservative, especially as like a young 18-year-old guy, like I'd have some questions for you. I'd be like, wow, like you really broke through. Like that is so rare. So, I mean, an 18-year-old dude growing up conservative in Oklahoma, being open-minded to new ways of thinking at 18 is really impressive as well. And I just think it's awesome that he's willing to possibly change the way that he thinks. It's really cool. Let's go to move on to the next guest. What's up? Are you MAGA?
I literally just clicked request, so I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
I just
Alright.
randomly
I
chose
just
you out
have
of the
one.
queue. How old are you?
That's hilarious. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Perfect. And
So I don't
I just want
fully
to.
like Trump.
Yeah, I just want to. That's what I wanted
You
to
go, you
clarify.
go.
Do you support Trump as president?
Okay, sort of. Not a lot at all. I don't think anybody can fully support him, but I think some people can admit he's done some good things. What do you think about that? What do you think?
Well, let me ask you a question here. If you could go back in time to the election, would you vote for Trump or Harris?
I'm for sure everyone can agree with me when I say no. And I also can't say I did not vote for him. I didn't vote at all.
All right, man. And we're gonna move on to the next guest. We got G Secret loaded up into the box. Here we go. As well as Brooke, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo, saying Israel bombed Nazir Hospital a second time while the first responders were actively on the site yesterday. Yeah, man, I saw a video of it. It was insane. I mean, holy shit, everybody needs to watch that clip. As well as Charlotte, thank you for the $5 on PayPal, saying, wish we had a version of you in the UK right now. We need it. I've heard that the UK is not doing too well, Charlotte. Thank you for the $5. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Howdy, Dean. How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing all right. Are you MAGA?
Yeah, man, I'm MAGA. Of
Oh,
course
G
I'm
Money,
MAGA.
you shouldn't be MAGA. Dude, Trump sucks. He's an authoritarian, unconstitutional a-hole.
Yeah, man, but it's better than those children smuggling Democrats.
Children smuggling Democrats?
Children smuggling Democrats.
Donald
You
Trump
heard
was
me, boy.
unironically best friends with a child sex trafficker.
Hey,
and
man,
yesterday,
nobody's perfect,
G-Lit,
all right?
nobody's... Okay, you're trolling.
I love you, Dean.
I'm not.
Yeah, get out of here. You're trolling. Yeah. No, he was hitting the lines. He was hitting the lines too insanely. Hey, all right. We need to go ahead and make a little bit of an account switch. For everybody on TikTok, I understand that we've only been live for a little bit and we haven't had our first real debate yet of the day. But guess what? As of like 60 seconds ago, we got and regained access to go live on TikTok on our main account. So everybody watching on TikTok, for those on YouTube, this won't affect you. You're just going to hang out, sit tight and whatnot. For everybody on TikTok, head over to @itsdean. That's not right. @itsdean on TikTok. You could find my main account really simply by just typing in Dean Withers. I mean, it is literally the first thing that pops up. Head over to @itsdean, everybody. We're going to be on that main account. We'll be able to send out to more people and hopefully get more Trump supporters in here. Head over there right now. I'll be live on there in less than 45 seconds. See you all soon. @itsdean. If you can't remember that handle, just type in Dean Withers and go to the account. That's verified with like 4 million followers. I'll see you over there shortly, you guys. I hope that all 7,000 of you come. If you don't come, I'm going to criticize you. I'm talking to you. If you're watching on TikTok right now and you're not going to come to the main account, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just kidding. That's a little intense. See you soon. All right. Everybody on YouTube, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Does anybody know what mouse Dean uses? I love the blue. It's like a Zowie something. No, it's a BenQ. I think it's like a BenQ Zowie mouse. I don't know. I got it years ago. I got it many years ago. It's been with me since I used to be playing Fortnite competitively way back in the day. All right. We're getting signed in on the main account right now. We should be up and running on there in no time, which is awesome. Perfect. And we are already live again. Fantastic. I hope that the debates today are good. I truly do hope the debates today are good. Does Bruv Cash App? I actually do. It's in the link in the bio or description. Linktree/Dean Withers. Hey, welcome in. For everybody tuning in on that main account, how are we doing? We got the raid from the DNC Dean backup. We are finally back on the main. That is awesome, quite frankly. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and just hop right back into the debates. For everybody tuning in on the main, good to see you. For everybody coming in from the @DNC Dean account, good to have you here. Seriously. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Here we go, everyone. Give us one moment here. Give us a moment here. Go ahead and spam that chat. Spam those shares. Spam those likes. Let's try to get the stream to send out and we are going to go ahead and pull up the first guest right now. It's just taking me a minute here. There it is. Oh, what the? Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like struggling here. That's how you do it. Okay. Give me a second, everybody. I need to type in the chat on my second account. Wait, it's showing that I'm already a moderator, but then it's not giving me access to add and remove guests. That's strange. Sorry, just give me a second here. Okay, there. Now it's working. All right, hopping into the debates. Here we go, everybody. For everybody on TikTok, you guys make sure they were double tapping on that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends. We got that first guest, political psych dude, loading up in right now. Here we go. Hey, what's up, man? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Can you get a little bit closer to your mic?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. You should just sound a little bit quiet. You just sound a little bit quiet. If you could speak up, that'd be great. But take it away, man. Why do you support Trump?
Because I just think he has better policies.
Okay. All right. What did you think about the big, beautiful bill?
I thought it was all right. I like the whole no tax on tips. You know, he's lowering taxes and everything.
Yeah.
But I also really like just in general what he's been passing with like the AI, for example. Like let me think of what it's called. Like,
The Genius Act is what you're thinking of.
yeah, he passed this thing where it's like illegal to do like AI nudity and like all this
Oh yeah,
other creepy
the
stuff.
bill about the deep fake corn and whatnot. No, I agree. That was a big. That was a good bill. All right. It's supposed to apparently crack down on like AI deep fake corn, revenge corn, etc. Okay, everyone's gonna agree with that. That was
Yeah.
a good bill, right?
And also like
Right. But if you allow me to finish
something
speaking here, but when we look
Okay.
at his policy as a whole, sure, you'll be able to point out that bill as a good bill. In fact, that's like the only bill he's passed so far that I agree with. But like in totality, I think that his policy has been bad. Like the big beautiful bill, for instance, that kicked 10 million people off healthcare, 3 million people off of food stamps. It is reducing the purchasing power of half of America. Right? That's very substantial. And I mean, I just can never support those things. Plus, it is the most expensive bill in American history at $4.5 trillion of debt-related spending. Like, come on, that's terrible.
Well, I mean, he's kicking off people that don't really need it, that themselves can afford it, and not even just that, but other policies
That's not true.
like,
Your comments there on the big beautiful bill are false. Where are you getting that from?
well, that's what he said.
That's not even what he said.
And that's also
So-
what I like.
So the
heard on
people that are
Fox
being
News
kicked
as well.
off are like, one, those that won't be able to afford it since he's defunding Medicaid by $900 billion per year, which is expected to increase premiums by 75%. And two, he's kicking off individuals that can work that aren't working, that are low income. And I disagree with that. I don't think that there should be a work requirement on Medicaid.
Well, and also, what are your thoughts on the what is it, like the Internet Privacy Act that he's doing?
Can you respond to my thoughts there on the... I can't. Can you please respond to my thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I just disagree with you on the big beautiful bill because what I've heard is contradictory to what you're saying.
Okay, so what you've heard is contradictory to what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is going to be rooted within the big beautiful bill itself. You could fact check literally anything that I'm saying. So I guess we'd start off here by saying, are you denying that it's the case that it's kicking individuals off by introducing a work requirement?
No, and again,
Okay,
I
so are you
totally
denying that
agree.
it's kicking individuals off by a projection of estimated premiums by upwards of 75% via defunding it by $900 billion?
No, but again, it's kicking off the people
Okay,
that
so-
don't really
so then
need
you-
it, which
so
is
then you
actually
agree
gonna
what I
boost
say.
our economy. Well, you're not really letting me speak though.
Okay, well then the conclusion of like you accepting the two things of which I just said would it be that it's not kicking people off that don't actually need it. Because we could agree that low-income Americans that aren't working do actually need health care, right? We could agree that low-income Americans who now can't afford it because it's become too expensive do actually need health care. So where are you getting that claim from that it's kicking people off that don't actually need it? What are the provisions that it is changing inside of Medicaid that are cutting people off that don't actually need it?
So again, what I have heard, which from several news sources, mostly Fox, but it's mainly just people that are able to afford healthcare that are getting kicked off, and not just like the most like lowest of the low income, which get it for free, and that everyone else has to pay for them when they're able to get a job and they just don't want to.
Could you repeat that for me?
Yeah, it's basically just kicking off people that can afford it, like that are capable of getting a job.
Okay, so it's kicking
And
people off that can afford it. Okay, so no, low-income Americans can't afford healthcare.
well, it's a tiered system. It's not like everyone pays the same amount. It's like some people are paying $300, some people are paying like $50 a month, and some people are just like not paying at all. Which
Private
is, you know,
healthcare
still-
can cost $1,000 a month. Not even like the average American can afford that.
Yeah, like right now I'm paying around $300 a month for it.
Okay,
So not like
obviously
1,000.
low-income Americans can afford that. So, could you? How about this? Tell me what are the literal provisions inside of the big beautiful bill that have changed, that introduced to kick people off that don't need it.
Oh, I don't know like specific provisions.
Well, of course you don't know the fucking specific provisions, because if you actually were to look into the specific provisions, you'd find out that it's not just simply cutting people off that don't need it, it's introducing a work requirement, and it's defunding it and making premiums more expensive. Those are the facts.
Yeah, and the work requirement's fine. There are plenty of people that should be able to work that just don't want to work and are just feeding off of it.
Yeah, I disagree with work requirements on essential social safety nets. I understand that employment is important. I agree that able-bodied Americans should work. However, it is the case that I don't think that healthcare policy should be the policy to incentivize that. I think that policy to incentivize employment should be separate and decoupled from policy that keeps people alive.
Yeah, but that's you just contradicted yourself because you just said that you believe that able-bodied Americans should work and receive that health care, but now you're also saying that they shouldn't. Like,
Really?
the-
So
the-
wait, so if you tell me that you don't think that you should have to work at least 80 hours a month in order to call the cops and report a crime because that's an essential social safety net that you don't think should have a work requirement on it, would you call yourself a hypocrite? Well, I guess we'll never know because he just left. Ran away. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, for the 5.2 thousand people joining us in on TikTok, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. And if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, as well as my Cash App in the link tree in my bio, as well as if you're watching over on YT, it's in that pin message. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now. Oh, he's actually back at the queue. No clue what happened. Hi, welcome back.
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Would it be contradictory for you to suggest that you'd think that the firefighters or policemen shouldn't have a work requirement on them in order to use their services?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you think it'd be contradictory for me to suggest that you shouldn't have to be working at least 80 hours a month in order to call the cops and report a crime?
Well, what does that have to do with what we were just talking about?
Because calling the cops and reporting the crime is accessing a social safety net that helps society that's paid for by taxpayers, similar to Medicaid.
Well, that's different because it's an actual like let's say crime being committed. Like to pay for a 911 service when someone unjustly did something wrong to you is different than just like having to go to the doctors for like a cough or something.
What are the relevant differences?
Well, one is a crime being committed upon you that
So you're saying if like you didn't access the police, it'd like significantly reduce the quality of your life and you might even die? Yeah, guess what happens when people don't have access to hospitals?
well, not really, because again, some people just go there to get like Botox or something. Like it's nothing.
You can't get
always-
you can't get elective Botoxes on Medicaid. I don't know why you're lying.
I'm just using that as an example.
Well, it's an example that doesn't categorically fit the notion of the conversation that we're having. So, like, I want you to start tracking. Can we agree here that healthcare is going to be an essential need for people? It's essential. It's a necessity. People need healthcare.
Not everyone.
Not everyone
are
needs
plenty-
healthcare.
No, there are plenty of healthy individuals that wouldn't benefit at all from healthcare, that don't do regular checkups, that don't do anything, but still sit on Medicaid doing absolutely nothing.
Wait.
keeping taxpayer money.
Wait. So if they're healthy and they're on Medicaid and they don't do regular checkups and they don't do anything, then the taxpayers aren't spending $1 on them because they're not going to the hospital.
But no, because they're still on Medicaid.
Yeah, when you're on Medicaid, it acts as an insurance that pays for your services when you access the service. What are you yapping about? What do you think Medicaid is? We should start there.
Well,
What
even
the hell
though-
do you think Medicaid is?
Well, it is a social service that uses taxpayer money for
To pay for
people
what?
to pay
No. Specifically, to pay for what?
Well, to pay for medical like bills.
For medical bills, exactly. And you just told me that somebody's going to be just leeching off the taxpayer if they're on Medicaid and they're super healthy and they're never collecting medical bills? Because they're never
Yeah,
going to the
because
hospital
some
and they're not
people
getting
just
checkups? Okay, well, if they're not getting medical bills, then what medical bills would the taxpayer be funding?
okay, I did kind of contradict myself there with that one,
Okay,
but
you're
it
starting
is
to sound
still
like a
the
robot.
case.
What the hell's going on with your mic, my friend?
I don't know. Do I sound fine or do I sound like robotic?
Yeah, you sound better now. You sound better now. So you did contradict yourself. If somebody's healthy and they're not going to the checkups and they're not going to the hospital, which by the way, if you're healthy, you should be going to your annual checkup. I want to make that one clear. Well, then they wouldn't have the taxpayer spending money on them. So once again, we just go back to the question of, well, if you think that an essential social safety net like Medicaid, which is essential, which is necessary for people, which saves people's lives, which extends our lifespans, which makes our quality of lives higher, then why would you not say that other essential social safety nets, like the police or like firefighters, why should they not have a work requirement on them in order to access their
So
services? Or like public roadways, why shouldn't you have to work in order to access the public roadways?
at its core, and I feel like you're kind of pivoting towards other stuff, but at the core, I just don't believe that someone who is able-bodied, that is capable of work, should be not working, just sitting in their room playing video games all day, feeding off Medicaid.
Okay, all right. So once again, we've already covered this all. You're just being intentionally dense and anti-intellectual since I'm shitting on your point. I could agree that if you're able-bodied, you should be working, right? I think that you should be working under like
Yeah.
optimal conditions. We should have good wages, et cetera, and so on. But just because I agree that like able-bodied people should be working, and I agree that our policy, that the policy of our government should incentivize employment, I'm just disagreeing that like essential social safety nets like Medicaid, public roadways, firefighters, or policemen or women should be the ones that incentivize that employment. You shouldn't have to be working in order to call the cops. You shouldn't have to be working in order to call the firefighters. You shouldn't have to be working in order to drive your car on a public roadway. Just like you shouldn't have to be working in order to go to the hospital. Right? And you don't want to entertain this point of me wrapping in other essential social safety nets because you know that you can't defeat it. You know that you have no argument for the conclusion, for the idea here that you shouldn't have to be working in order to call the cops and report a crime or to drive on a public roadway, but you should have to be working in order to go to the hospital. Because going to the hospital is essential, like driving on public roadways, like calling the cops sometimes.
Okay, you just said that you agree that able-bodied people should work in order to receive Medicaid, but then you're also saying
No,
that they should not work
I
in
said
order
that.
to
So
receive Medicaid.
you're already like misconstruing what I've already said 5 times. How about you actually try to listen to me this time? I said that able-bodied people should be working. I just don't think that essential social safety nets should be the policy to incentivize said employment.
Okay, I think I get it. We disagree that Medicaid should be an essential then.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. Do you or do you not think that healthcare is essential?
No.
Okay, healthcare is not essential. So what is an essential social
Not-
safety net in theory?
Not in all circumstances, no.
What is an essential social safety net in theory? What does it mean for a social safety net to be essential? What does it mean for a service to be essential?
Okay, now we're heading towards like socialism, communism type stuff.
No, shut the fuck up, you idiot. We're not talking about socialism or communism. What the fuck are you saying? I'm just simply asking you, what does it mean for a program or a service to be essential? Okay, he left again. I don't know. Maybe you got upset because I called him an idiot. I'm sorry for calling that last guest an idiot, but it's like, oh my God, Dean's over here talking about how like some social safety nets can be necessary. You know, like sometimes it's necessary to like report a crime. Sometimes it's necessary to go to the hospital and get like treatment for your cancer. Like sometimes it's necessary to like take your car and drive on a public roadway that's funded by the government to go to work. And then this guy's like, you're a fucking communist. Go, you're a fucking idiot. Like, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, guys, I guess it is now socialist to think that it was necessary for my grandpa to get treatment to kill his prostate cancer. It's socialist to think that it was necessary for my girlfriend's mom to get treatment to kill her breast cancer. Oh my God. Like you can't make it up. You can't make it up, Jay. You can't make it up. Evangelical Truth. Appreciate you for that meteor shower. I really appreciate you so much for that love. That's very kind of you. Now listen, you guys, we are only 15 minutes into the stream, but we already got to do a restart because we got our push on this main account restricted. I'm going to be honest, you guys. I think that TikTok is targeting this main account. In the last week, we've been live on this main account for like maybe 30 minutes total. The first time we were live, they took our live access away in 10 minutes. And now this time, 15 minutes in, we've already had our push restricted and it's no longer eligible for FYP. I don't know why TikTok is doing this specifically to this account. It's not happening on any of my other accounts, but it is what it is because we could solve it with a super easy restart. Then it's also funny seeing all the Trump supporters in the comment section saying W TikTok. Oh, so you support infringing and stopping speech that you disagree with? So you disagree with the First Amendment? So you disagree with the Constitution? So you disagree with core American values? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and hit that restart. I will see you all in 3 seconds, everyone. The moment I end, just click on the profile picture in the middle of my phone screen. You'll be directed to my account page. Count to 10, refresh it, and then click back into the live. Also, make sure that you're hitting that follow button right now. That is going to be the easiest way to come back in here after we do the restart. I will see you all in 3 seconds. Could be troll spam reporting the live. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Listen, we're already back on live though. We're already back on live. Yo, Sarah, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Sarah. If everybody watching could please show some love to Sarah down below, that'd be really meaningful. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, my family raised me on the Bible, then calls me a socialist for loving thy neighbor and wanting to help the needy. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're raised to be an actual good Christian. Guess what? You're actually Satan. Thank you for the $10, Sarah. As well as Charlotte, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal chat. Show some love to Sarah and Charlotte down below. Show some love to Sarah and Charlotte down below. Charlotte with a $20 says, more love from the UK. Thank you, Charlotte. Love to the UK. Let's get 200 Charlotte W's and 100 Sarah W's. As well as Will, thank you for the $10 on PayPal, saying, Dean, have you ever thought about using an auto gain feature for your mic at all? That way it doesn't sound so quiet. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna get like a real gain thing that I could just plug into it. I do need that. Thank you so much for the love, Will. As well as Ollie with a $1. Thank you so much, Ollie. That is incredibly kind of you. That is super duper kind of you. And then Tracy, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy with the 20 says, thank you for always pushing back. Well, thank you so much for your kindness. Everybody, please show some love to Tracy down below in the comment section. Let's get 200 Tracy W's. Thank you guys so much for all of the love. Show some love to all of our donors down below in that chat while we're focusing on getting that very next guest connected into the live for the first debate of the night. And then Whitney with the $5 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Whitney. Thank you so much. And then Annie with the $20 on Super Chat, saying MAGA always with the rules for thee and not for me. No, absolutely. Like all the Trump supporters were saying, I'm glad he's having his speech restricted. Huh. Interesting. What about what happened to the First Amendment? Who knows? But thank you for the $20, Annie. Show some love to Annie down below. And then Meg, thank you so much for the motorcycle as well. I really appreciate you for your support. Let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded in and connected to the live, guys. If you're in that queue attempting to join, just make sure that you're following the rules, meaning that you've got to be an American adult that is at least 18 years old, that supports Trump, that is ready and willing to come up here and have a conversation with moi. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Damn. What year were you born in?
07.
Okay. All right. Take it away, Zeke. Why do you support Trump as president?
All right, so in the past couple of days, maybe a week, I've done some research on some topics and some policies. And I've also studied a little bit of how you speak and what you speak on. So I've done a couple like looking and seeing, so that way it's like decent. I'd also like to say that I respect you as a person. I respect what you do. And if you ever need to like stop and thank somebody or whatever, you're free to do that. Just let me know.
Okay.
So starting out with the immigration policy.
You know what? I just wanted to tell you real quick. I appreciate you for doing your research, writing this shit down, and preparing for it. This will be fun. Sorry for the interruption. Take it away.
You're good. You're good. My first thing says that in 2021, approximately over 2 million undocumented immigrants were reported. That number rose to 2.76 million in 2022. So within a year, 760 million more were put through and undocumented, however you want to say it. And then I put also that the average home price rose from $320,000 in 2017 to $350,000 by early 2021. And I put that's because there's an increase in the demands leading to an increase in the house pricing, and that undocumented immigrants often contribute to local economies, driving up property values. I have that you you say that legalizing immigrants could increase their tax contributions and bargaining power, leading to higher wages, which is also true. So it's like a yes and no type of thing with it for me when I have it.
Let me go over everything that you just said so far. So I heard you make two main points there. Your first point was that you think that like a lot of undocumented immigrants came into the country over the last 4 years, maybe relating back to how you think that the policy related to the borders, like bad about the Democrats and good for Republicans. We'll talk about that. Now, the second thing that you said there was that in the last 4 years, we also experienced a sharp increase in the pricing of houses. Now, for point number one, off the bat, we can't just basically associate two variables with one another. We can't say, well, we saw an increase in immigration and an increase in the pricing of houses. Therefore, the increase in immigration caused the increase in the pricing of houses. That would be fallacious on its own, so you'd have to give me an additional reason to believe that one factor caused the other. Second point that I'd like to bring up here is undocumented immigrants actually have a downward pressure on the pricing of houses. Why? Because they're less likely to participate in the demand side of housing because they can't qualify for loans to buy them. And a lot of people that rent out houses will not rent them to people without social security numbers. And point number two, they're significantly more likely to participate in the supply side of the housing economy, as 1 out of every 7 construction workers is an undocumented immigrant.
Okay. Fair point, 100%. I put that there are legal means of entry, which the cost may rise, but it would be at a much slower rate. So the cost would rise at a slow rate, even if it were. I'm not saying I'm against like people coming in. I'm saying I'm more against like the undocumentation of it. So
you're against them like committing the misdemeanor upon entry?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you have like a repost like glorifying drunk driving. Should we deport you too?
Oh no, it's I don't know.
It's like, what's worse, committing a victimless misdemeanor that doesn't hurt anybody, or like a fucking felony that could kill people?
I don't even drink, so it's like if I think it's funny, I repost it. So, but
Okay. I'm not laughing at the glorification of drunk driving. I'm just laughing at the juxtaposition of the relationship between condemning somebody so hard for a misdemeanor, and then, like giggling about a felony. Yeah, it's definitely something that we see to be true a lot. Now, if you'd like to continue in responding to a couple of the points that I made there, that'd be fine. I'll just ignore that repost for now. I want to talk about the substance that you came up here to talk to me about. Where we left off was you told me that you think that immigrants have an upward pressure on the pricing of houses. Point number one, you just gave me a correlation causation fallacy. You'd have to indicate how one factor caused the other. Point number two, we have really good reason to believe that undocumented immigrants have a downward pressure on the pricing of houses due to the fact that they're more likely to participate in the demand side of the market and less likely to participate in the demand side of the market and more likely to participate in the supply side of the market.
okay. Yeah, you definitely make fair points. So I also respect somebody else who does research, and obviously you've done like a shit ton of it. So you'll definitely have me in a lot of places. So
Okay. Well, where do we go from here?
I put that half of the job gains under Biden have come from undocumented immigrants, and 2% of which are management, professional, and office support workers. 12 million people were employed during Biden's term, so $6 million went to undocumented immigrants, and 300,000 office management jobs went to undocumented immigrants. And I
Okay.
put citizens have a harder time finding jobs because of those rates.
Okay, so you gave me a statistic saying that half of the jobs that were created under the Biden-Harris administration were filled by undocumented immigrants. Point number one, I mean, I don't really know if there's any evidence to justify your point. Like, maybe if you have a source for that, feel free to share it. Point number two, I mean, I don't think that undocumented immigrants are like stealing all these jobs from Americans, as undocumented immigrants and American citizens actually have pretty similar unemployment rates. And then point number three, it is the case that even if there was like a shit ton of jobs filled by undocumented immigrants in the last 4 years, well, I mean, doesn't this just kind of prove that they're helping to prop up the American economy following COVID? Maybe if we didn't have any of those immigrants in the country, there would have been so many open jobs that nobody would fill. Companies would have fallen. Their productive capacities would have been in the ground. They wouldn't have anybody to work for them. They wouldn't have anybody to sell to, and we wouldn't have rebounded from the terrible and very devastating economic effects of the pandemic as fast as we did. Like maybe like the other side of the coin with your statement there, half of the jobs were filled by undocumented immigrants is just suggesting, that half of the force to get us out of the pit holes caused by the pandemic, economically speaking, were the labor of undocumented immigrants.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you in some places there, but at that point, it's more for me. It's like towards the end of that, like half of that is or like some of what I said is I believe that, and half what you said is a lot of what you said I believe that, and it's just like everything is from different. I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. I don't know what I'm saying, but so am I able to switch topics or no?
Yeah, for sure, man. I don't mind switching topics. Maybe like one last thing I'd like to bring up here before we do move on to the next topic is very simple. I mean, if you care so much about a misdemeanor, like why don't you care about 34 felonies? Why don't you care about violations of our Constitution? Why don't you care about a civil case holding Trump liable for rape? You know, like why don't you care about the fraud cases? Why don't you care about the embezzlement from the 90s? Why don't you care about the harboring of Russian mafia members in the 80s? You know, like these are all like very terrible and atrocious crimes that Donald Trump has committed. These are all like very illegal things that he has done, and yet you support him as president. But then if it comes to a very simple misdemeanor, you think that's enough to literally remove somebody from the country.
Okay, so I've actually thought about that because
Oh, you're lagging, Zeke. We cannot hear you.
I know I don't agree or I don't support anything that he's done, like crime wise. None of it I support. I think it's a lot of it's terrible, but I only support what he does in case of what the policies he's making, not because of the actions he's taking against like other people. Because like yeah, I definitely agree with you. None of it's right. It's terrible, and I actually have every person that has all the alleged charges he has against him. I wrote all those down, looked all of those up.
Okay, so point
And
number one, it seems like the takeaway of the claim that you're communicating to me is that even though he's done all these bad, illegal, atrocious things, you still support him as president because you think he's making the country better. But then as soon as it comes to undocumented immigrants, even though they did this one thing that's technically a misdemeanor that doesn't hurt anybody, you don't support them and you want them to be removed even though they're making the country better. You know, it's like for Trump, you place, impact over person. But then about undocumented immigrants, it's not even that you place person over impact. It's that you place a misdemeanor over person and impact, which doesn't seem to make much make much sense to me. And then point number two I'll make here, we should definitely consider who he is as a person and what he's done because these also have real material effects on the country and the people within it. You know, when we see the glorification of a little rapist, when we see a fraudster, a felon being given the keys to the kingdom, the most powerful position that any person has ever held in human history, and we say, hey, run wild with it, first and foremost, this is going to lead him to do a lot of really bad things in that position. You know, the most notorious of these examples as related to the topic of breaking the law would be his incessant violations of the Constitution since day one to yesterday. And point number two, it's just like what we now deem as socially permissible. You know, like socially speaking, we need to stigmatize rapists. We need to condemn them. We need to limit their opportunity because this teaches society that rape is bad. And if you do it, you will be given consequences. But like now we're not just not giving consequences to a rapist. We're actually rewarding them, which then kind of tells shitty men that, hey, you could go out and do this to a woman and maybe one day you could be president too, right?
I definitely agree with you. In the case of all the things he's done that were unrelated to his presidency and what he's doing in the office is like I said, I don't agree with any of it and I don't support any of it. And if they find him guilty and he goes to prison, he deserves it. But in the case of that, also, like I said before, I'm more supportive of what the policies are and not of what's going on in the personal life of what he's doing.
Right, and I think that this is like more resemblant of a problem with you and you not being willing to accept the descriptions I just gave about how these things can have a material impact on the country, just like his policy. Now, what I'll be willing to do with you is just to kind of set that aside because you've voiced that you literally don't care about it. But what I will say again is please think about what I'm saying here. Please try to care about it. Consider the fact that, the things he's done is having a material impact on what we're teaching men is acceptable, on what we're telling our youth is okay. And we'll continue to talk about the policy. Just please consider those things.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Oh my God. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love you. My girlfriend just brought me in some food. That is so kind of her. Oh, that's so cute. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I move on to the new bill because I have a couple pages on that.
What new bill? The big beautiful bill?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd love to talk about the big, beautiful bill with you. I'll just sum up my critiques and let's get some W girlfriends in the comment section. I'll sum up my critiques quickly. Terrible because it's kicking 10 million people off healthcare. Terrible because it's kicking 3 million people off of food stamps. Terrible because according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, it's reducing the after-tax income of, over 50% of us. Terrible because it's spending $4.5 trillion. Now tell me, either feel free to respond to those points or to give me your thoughts.
I would first just like to say what I have down at what it is. I have that the bill brings together the major tax changes, welfare cuts, defense spending hikes, and cultural policy shifts rolled into a single package. And the bill cleared the Senate with a 50-50 tie, with J.D. Vance being the tiebreaker getting through the House of Representatives.
Do you mind if I actually ask you to do something real quick? So your phone is propped up and your camera's on you, which is cool. I like it. But if you just like turn your camera off and like put your phone on its side and bring it a little bit closer to your mouth, I feel like we'd be able to hear you so much more clearly.
I'll just move my whole setup up a little bit.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Is this any better?
Just talk a little bit slower than you were, and I think we'll be fine. Go ahead.
All right. I put that the bill cleared Senate with a 50-50 tie, with Vance being the tiebreaker, getting through the House of Representatives with a 218 to 214 margin. The bill was signed on the 4th of July, and Trump calls it the biggest bill of its type in history. And then I have benefits to it. I don't know if I wrote any like disadvantages. I should have, but I don't think I did. I'm going to get to that.
Don't worry, I'll get to that.
I know. My first benefit is that the law makes expensing for investment in short-lived assets and domestic research and development permanent. Immediate deductions for capital investment eliminates a tax penalty for capital investment, and permanent expensing has the most bang for your buck when it comes to economic growth. Those two provisions boost long-run GDP by 0.7% by eliminating that tax penalty and giving taxpayers the certainty needed to boost long-run investment. Now, if you would like to counter me, that would be good.
Yeah, so point number one, you just described some of the tax cuts in the bill, and then point number two, you just went on to say that you think those might boost the GDP in the long term. So first and foremost, like what is the time frame here? It's going to boost the GDP by 0.7%, and what time frame?
I did not find any of that when I was going through research.
Okay, because it's important for us to remember that the GDP literally fell in one quarter by 0.3% due to Donald Trump's tariffs. So if you want to like attribute economic growth and expansion in our GDP to the Trump administration, you also have to be able to consider all the assets in which they reduce GDP growth and how those would go against your support. Like for instance, the American Immigration Council tells us that mass deportation would reduce the GDP by 1.1 trillion to 1.7 trillion dollars per year, which is close to 4 to 6% in 365 days. So already, if everything that you said about the big beautiful bill was true, and Donald Trump successfully pulls off his mass deportation as he wants to, we're still in the green still in the red over $1 trillion in GDP loss per year. All right, now point number two that I'd like to bring up here. The tax cuts do apply to people. They apply to low-income Americans and they apply to high-income Americans. Everybody's getting a tax cut, and I will not refute that. But the reason it hurts is because if you make at or beneath $51,000 per year, the cuts in the bill are going to hurt you more than the tax reductions in the bill. Like for instance, the near $1 trillion rollbacks on Medicaid, the $200 billion rollbacks on food stamps, the multi-billion-dollar rollbacks on free school student lunches through the DOE, the defunding of intellectuals in the arts. All these things and more are going to make the average American pay more than they'd be saving because of the tax cuts. And my source on this would be the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. And that's what I'd recommend you do some research on.
I could definitely. Well, I'll also go back and rewatch this after I'm done to see what has been said that I can also research back and look at again. My second says that it's a shorter one, that the law also makes the Tax Cuts and Job Acts less restrictive, a limitation on interest deductions, and Section 179 expensing for a small business permanent, while introducing temporary spending for some qualified structures. A good addition that would be needed to make permanent for long-run economic growth.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, once again, I'm not like familiar with like the particular, like sections that you just brought up. It seems like you're telling us that somehow the big beautiful bill is going to help small businesses. Well, we got to remember that small businesses are run by a lot of people that can have an annual income of or around $51,000 per year or less. So, if the owner of the small business is being hurt, the small business would probably be hurt as well. Something else that we got to consider here is Trump's policy once again that is hurting small businesses, like his tariffs. Donald Trump's tariffs really hurt small businesses. Why? Because a lot of small businesses rely on raw materials produced in other countries to make their goods in America because they do not have the money to spend on the infrastructure to produce the raw materials here, right? So we have seen small businesses hit really, really hard by the tariffs, even though they're making goods in America, because they're not one of those multinational trillion-dollar corporations that can spend billions to make the plants to produce the raw materials. So they're reliant on imports from other countries.
Okay, I've definitely seen that take effect in a lot of places. I'll go in and it's like, geez, this stuff has gotten a lot more expensive, and it's like upsetting. But at the same time, I feel like with the, I would say with like minimum wage rising when tariffs rise, I don't know which is rising at a higher rate, so I couldn't depict which would be like better on which side. But I guess a lot of people look at it as like prices are going up, but the minimum wage rises as well too, I guess. And
Well,
that,
federal minimum wage hasn't risen since 2008. So something else to consider.
so I guess I could ask you what the difference between the federal minimum wage is and like a state minimum wage.
Well, sure. Like, if minimum wage is imposed in the state, then you only have to be paid that minimum wage inside of the state. If the minimum wage is imposed on the federal government, then you have to be paid that wage anywhere in America at minimum. Now, if you're just saying that, well, maybe like wages will outpace, like the increase in inflation. Well, I mean, we have no reason to believe this because it's going to be harder for those wages to be met because of the tariffs. Like, once again, it's the tariffs that are causing the price of the goods to go up. Why? Because the companies just cannot consume all of the tariffs, so then they have to pass it off to the end consumer. So then if they have to turn around and pay their employers more to keep up with inflation, well, guess what? Then they'll just also have to pass more of that cost off to the consumer, causing more inflation. So I would say that's not necessarily the best argument. Especially when we're considering that the inflation is already being caused because we're overwhelming producers with expenses, so they have to pass those expenses off to the consumer.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I will definitely look more into that as well as what you said before. My next point is that it's really short. National Coast Guard has received $25 billion in funding from the bill, and that's the largest investment in the service's history.
National Coast Guard. Great. Okay. I agree with giving more money to the National Coast Guard. I just care more about protecting the 10 million low-income Americans that lost health benefits. Like, I would prefer we continue to fund Medicaid at $900 billion, so we're not increasing premiums by 75% and cutting benefits off from 10 million people compared to giving $25 billion to the Coast Guard. Like, what's more preferable? Ensuring that 10 million low-income Americans have access to the hospital, ensuring that Medicaid doesn't lose $1 trillion in funding, or giving an additional $25 billion to the Coast Guard.
I definitely agree with you. Like, there are some things that I will agree with you on 100%, and there are some things that I'll find different, like an opinion. But because I like to listen and make sure that if you say something that's definitely like gonna overrule what I say, I'm gonna believe you and I'll sit with you on that. But there are some things I also it's like agree to disagree kind of. If it's like more opinionative or if it's factual, I'll like make sure that hey, if that's right, then I'm gonna agree with you. But if it's opinionated and it's like I think differently, then it's just like
Yeah. Here. Let me thank a handful of people before we hop into the next one real quick. Linda, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal, saying happy birthday. Advice: beer before liquor, never sicker. Liquor after beer, you were in the clear. You know what, Linda? That is a good rhyme, and I honestly wouldn't know anything about that, Linda, because I've never drinking an ounce of alcohol in my life. You know what? I really appreciate you for preparing me for what it will be like. Guys, I really wonder what tequila will taste like. What is it gonna taste like, chat? Charlotte, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal as well. Thank you, Charlotte. And then Kia, thank you for the $4. I appreciate you so much for the love. I appreciate you for your kindness. Thank you, Kia. Give me a second here. Sorry. Then also I'd like to thank Oscar for the $11.11 over on Venmo, saying everyone deserves to have someone who makes him smile the way your girlfriend just made you smile. Oh, well, I love her. She also brought me in some food. Imagine that. My favorite person in the world bringing me some food. Oh my God. It's like you can't beat it. As well as Ethan. Thank you for the $5 in Venmo as well. Thank you, Bro Save Me. I'm a left-leaning 19-year-old man in Utah. This shit sucks. Man, my sister lives out there. I know how it is. I feel bad for you, Ethan. Then Ryan with the $4 as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then Tracy, thank you for the $20. And thank you for always pushing back. Thank you so much, Tracy. That is incredibly kind of you. Then Hope for the $10 saying thank you for all that you do, Dean. Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much. Let's show some love to Hope down below. And then Global, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal. Global, that is so kind of you. Please, everybody, show some love to Global down below in that comment section. Let's get 300 Global W's. Seriously, I really appreciate that, Global. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for the $30. As well as MMF, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Dude, that is insane. Let's get 500 MMF W's. You already know. I love you so much. Thank you for the love, MMF. You are awesome. MMF with a 50 says, I like that this guy appears to be more open. Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like he definitely is more open and is more centered on fact. Which is something I could appreciate. It's something I could appreciate. Is the most guests. Thank you so much for the $50. As well as Condra with the $12 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Condra. Condra says, I love you, Dean. As somebody who makes six figures, I could tell you that Trump's recent and erroneous claim that inflation is down and pay has increased is bullshit. We struggle. By the way, the tequila is dangerous. Keep up the amazing work. Well, I'll have to stay away from it for that reason. Thank you so much for the love, Condra. And then Jonathan with the $7 saying that this is only to be used for tequila, SHOT. Dude, what can I do now? I guess I have to spend it on a tequila thing. You know what I mean? I have no other option. You forced my hand, Jonathan. Thank you for the $7. Hey. Oh, then also Kate, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat saying avoid Long Island teas when you finally get to go out and drink. You know what? I will avoid those. All right? If I'm going to go, I'm not going to drink some tea. Okay, I'm going to drink some fucking whiskey. Some tequila. You know what I mean? Not some tea, all right? But thank you for the love. But anyways, take it away, Zeke. Where were we at?
Sorry, I muted myself. I think it was just we went past the we finished the Coast Guard or whatever, and between the 10 trillion to the other thing.
Yeah. So, is there any other points that you wanted to go over?
There's just like 8, maybe.
Wow.
More.
Okay. Here, give us another one. Give us another one.
I put that the bill provides an additional $6,000 deduction for seniors, which will mean that 88% of seniors receiving Social Security income pay will no longer pay tax on their benefits.
This is yet another example of like a positive tax cut within the bill, right? Like, you know, like a $6,000 deduction for seniors, no tax on tips for the next 2 years, up to $12,000, no tax on overtime for the next 2 years, up to $25,000. There's a bunch of really awesome tax cuts in the bill. I'm just going to repeat what I already said. When we factor in for all of these tax cuts, guess what? You're going to be worse off at the end of the day if you make at or less than $51,000 per year. And those are the conclusions that I truly care about. It's how is it going to impact the country as a whole? You know, how is the average American going to benefit? How is the average American going to be served a detriment? How are low-income Americans going to benefit? How are low-income Americans going to be served a detriment? And when we just look at all of those facts, we see that the bill hurts. It hurts more than it helps.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from on that for sure. I had I think maybe 4 more on taxes, but I'll skip over those. Let's see. Actually, I can just, if you want to, we can move on to a different topic because I have some more, and that's the rest.
Yeah, why don't we go over one more topic together? What would you like the last topic to be?
I have 2, but I guess we could go over the one everybody loves most, the abortion topic.
I don't know if everyone likes that the most, but yeah, let's talk about it. Do you think that abortion should be banned?
I will say that I am pro-life. Yes.
Okay, and why do you think? Well, let's clear up some specifics. Do you think that abortion should even be banned in circumstances of rape?
Okay, I think it should be if it's either. So I would say it's hard to talk on that one, but I would say I feel like if it's under rape, then yes, I feel like it should be okay then. But in any other circumstance, I feel like it should not be.
Okay, right. Then that also likely means that you make an exception for life of the mother.
Like if it was like
mother's gonna die if she gives birth, should she be able to abort the fetus?
Yes, that those I'll say those are the two. Like,
Perfect. So you only think that elective abortion should be banned. So why do you think that elective abortion should be banned?
I put one of my main things is that like you can always, if you don't want to raise a child, you can always give the child up for adoption or a foster, because people who want to will have that option. People who are infertile or can't have children have the option of having somebody because somebody else gave up one that they couldn't raise.
Yeah. So the principled goal in this argument would be to suggest a less harmful alternative, and because you can suggest a less harmful alternative, you believe that therefore it'd be wrong to engage in the more harmful alternative of abortion, right? Okay. So first and foremost, I reject it being a less harmful alternative because I don't think that abortion is harmful. Is I don't think that the fetus can feel harm. I don't think that they have a well-being because they don't have subjective experiences, and that's what I value. And point number two, adoption and foster care are just not an alternative to pregnancy, right? Like, listen, I completely understand that like giving your child up for adoption is 110% an alternative to parenthood. And there's plenty of women that don't mind being pregnant, but just don't want to be a parent, that will go through the pregnancy and then give the child up for adoption. However, we must keep in mind here that pregnancy is also a big reason why women get abortions, because pregnancy is not only physically traumatic and physically painful, but it's also mentally traumatic and mentally painful. Introduces some likelihood of death and can cause a bunch of other issues. So women don't just get abortions to avoid being a mom, they also get abortions to avoid being pregnant.
Okay. I see where you're coming from on that. Like, that's one of those things where it's like I could see how that would be something that would be true 100%.
Right.
Another thing that I say is that I am a Christian, and I feel like God values life. So I feel like in instances where it's possible and it's not like you said, rape or mother's life, I feel like that child should be given the life that it needs. Whatever.
This is my favorite argument. I actually love it when people come up here and tell me that they think abortion should be banned because they're Christian. And I'm about to just destroy your brain, okay? Under the Christian worldview, you could definitely argue that abortion is morally wrong, but you have no argument for the idea or concept that because it's morally wrong, it should be illegal. Okay, and let me explain to you what I mean. First and foremost, which denomination of Christianity are you?
Non-denominational.
You're non-denominational. Okay, so you're closer to Baptist. You're not a Catholic. You're not an Orthodox. Phenomenal. So can we agree that there's no clear description found anywhere within the Bible how one sin is any worse than any other? And in fact, the closest we learn to coming about the wrongness of sins would be in Romans, where we learn from Peter that all sins separate you from God.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I know that there's the one sin that is like unforgivable is
blasphemy.
I guess life because you can't.
Right.
Blasphemy is life because you can't pray for the forgiveness after that happens.
Right.
So.
Ruling out blasphemy, we have no clear articulation if one sin is any worse than any other, and the closest we come to learning how the wrongness of sins compared to one another is that they're identically wrong through writings in Romans. So if the sin of abortion is identically wrong to the sin of lying, and you think because the sin of abortion is so wrong, it should be illegal, does this mean that you think the sin of lying should be illegal? And this would make the implication that I shouldn't be able to tell my children that Santa Claus exists.
I guess it's. I would feel like it wouldn't have to be illegal if it was less serious matter. Like, I feel like abortion is more serious than, and like I wouldn't say in like sinning terms like you explained. I wouldn't say it's different, but in like legal. Personal, real life, like all, I don't know.
Okay, great. So now you're telling me that you think that the sin of abortion is more serious or more wrong than the sin of lying to your child, telling them that Santa Claus exists. However, this wrongness is not rooted within your standard of wrongness, that being God. It's rooted within your own thoughts. So, in accordance with Christian theology, your own thoughts aren't normative. Your own thoughts don't tell us what you should do or what you shouldn't do. The thoughts of God tells you what you should do or you shouldn't do. So if this ultimately reduces down to some of like your perceptions, your feelings, and your experiences, well, because you categorically accept Christianity, you accept that Jesus is God, you accept that God is the perfect moral standard, then you reject that your thoughts and your feelings bear any relevance towards the wrongness of an action. Right? And because your thoughts and your feelings can't possibly bear any relevance towards the wrongness of an action, well, you're just telling me that the reasons why you think abortion is more serious than lying are completely irrelevant to determining that abortion is any worse than lying.
I gotta say, you got me on that one 100%. I clearly didn't do research enough. Like, I thought I did, but that's okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, nobody thinks about this. Nobody talks about this. This is like one of the biggest fundamental issues with applying Christianity to run a criminal justice system. Just nobody talks about it. Every single time I bring this up on my live, it is always the first time that the guest has heard it. There's a bunch of people in the chat that are like, "Holy shit!" Like that. Why have I never thought about this before? People don't talk about it enough. Right? But that truly does completely stump and, in my mind, terminate the view of using Christian beliefs to dictate our criminal justice system.
Okay. There's really nothing more that I have. It's all the same topics, so I just have more written down on it, but it's all the stuff that's been like explained in different, like, I guess, summarized up into one, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you for coming up and having a conversation, coming up and being prepared, making notes, and like being level-headed the whole time. Cool guest, and I really hope that you continue to explore truth, and I hope that you come to some of the conclusions that I have, and I think that you will. I'm an optimist about truth.
Last thing I want to say is that, like I said, I will definitely think about the things you said, and I'll take some things into consideration. I'll do some thinking, and then I also want to say that I respect your chat and your donators for helping you out and being cool towards you. So you're always asking them to thank you, and no one wants to do it. So I say thank you to all you in chat for being cool and awesome. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. If I ever have anything else I want to talk to you about, I'll come up here and try again. So
awesome, man. You have a good rest of your day, Zeke.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you as well. What a pleasant way to spend 30 minutes. What a pleasant way to spend 30 minutes. I'm very optimistic that he will end up rejecting Trump, rejecting MAGA, rejecting the right, and a lot of the beliefs that he just described, because he seems like genuinely open-minded to truth. And I feel like once you're open-minded to truth, and you're obviously like inspired to want to find out what truth is, like obviously that guy was inspired to want to find out what truth is, or he wouldn't have had that conversation with me with the notes and whatnot, that he'll inevitably come to it. So, I mean, I think that I'm pretty optimistic about that guy's future. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now, guys. Hop in that QView Sport Trump. Yo, oh my goodness gracious. Shrey, thank you so much for the $100 over on Super Chat. Dude, holy cow. Shrey, that is so kind of you. You have been so absolutely kind the last handful of days. I really I really appreciate your support, Shrey. I want everybody watching to show some love to Shrey down below in all of the comment sections right now. That is SREY. Shrey with the $100 Super Chat says, Culver's is the best. Date night on me. Dude, let me tell you, I love Culver's. I love it so much. As well as thank you for the $100 specifically for a date night. That is literally so kind of you. Let me tell you, I absolutely just love and appreciate everybody that supports this stream, supports what we do here, over at Venmo, PayPal, and whatnot. I really do appreciate you guys. But like, oh my God, like when you specifically make the donation about something involving my girlfriend or my girlfriend, it just puts an extra large smile on my face, right? So thank you so much for the love, Sray. Everybody watching, show some love to Sray. As well as Katie with the $10 over on Super Chat. Thank you, Kate. Woody with the $10 saying, I have to get a Long Island iced tea. Okay, I'll have to try it. And then Lux, thank you for the 10 pounds over on Super Chat. You guys are awesome. Welcome into Sport Trump. What's up, Mike the military man?
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you come a lot closer to your mic? You sound like you're a billion years away. All right, while you're doing that, quickly. Jonathan, thank you for the $7 over on Venmo. Oh, then Ducky, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Giving me more drinks to try. Okay, I'll try classic rum and Coke. No clue what that is. What is rum? No clue. Never heard of it. I'll have to try it out. Thank you, Ducky, for the $20. Then Jenny, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Lori with the $5. Thank you so much. Then Allie with the $10. Thank you so much. Can you share the argument you would use for abortion if your op is Catholic? Yeah, at that point, we'd go into like the more nuanced specifics of how fetuses are not assigned identity in the Bible, and they're merely assigned property rights. As well as Taylor, thank you for the $5 over at Venmo. Thank you so much, you guys. As well as Ann with the $10. Thank you so much for the love, Ann. Tequila on the rocks and watch the ice melt and try it. Okay, I appreciate you guys for the recommendations. And then Eleanor with the $5. Then Nico with the $5 as well. Thank you so much. Now, what is going on, Mike? How old are you? All right, Mike is not here, unfortunately. We are going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. Mike, you got a bit of lag. Feel free to re-request when you don't have as much. Let's go to move on to that next guest user for right now. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio, y'all. I get 100% of the proceeds over there. They go straight to my phone where I could read them off with any and all attached messages. What's up? Are you MAGA?
Yeah,
Age right now?
20.
Okay. Time right now?
10 or 9.
10?
7 or 9. Sorry, I got confused.
No, banned. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to see what that next guest has to say, guys. Only hop in that queue if you're an American adult that supports Trump. Okay, they were obviously not American, quite frankly. Not American, quite frankly. Kimberly, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I can't even read your message, Kimberly. I just know that I did read it internally. I just won't be saying it on live. But Kimberly, thank you for the $20. Let's get 200 Kimberly W's. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As well as Sonia with the $10 on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love, Sonia. Show some love to Kimberly and Sonia down below, folks. Thank you so much, Kimberly and Sonia. We got that next guest connecting right now. Here we go, chat. What's up? Are you MAGA? No, banned. Guys, where are all the Trump supporters at? We have 9.3 thousand people hanging out with us in the room here today, and for whatever reason, we don't have any Trump supporters. Where did they go? Yo, Dia, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat saying margarita on me. Bro, you guys have been loading me up for drinks once I turn 21. Yeah, the 21st birthday is in 6 days. Holy shit, I'm so loaded for drinks on that first night. It's going to be so crazy. Thank you for the love, Dia. Show some love to Dia down below. As well as Aaron with the $20 on Venmo also for the drinks. Okay, guys. Okay, you guys are going to kill me. Thank you for the $20, Aaron. Show some love to Aaron. That is ERIN. As well as late. Did you say based?
No, I said G's.
Oh, I thought you said based. Okay. Late with the $10. Thank you so much for the love, late. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right. Hey, take it away. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Perfect, man. You're older than me. Kylan, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal saying happy early birthday, Dean. Thank you so much for the love, Kylan. Show some love to Kylan. And then Brian with the $10. More money for more alcohol. Thank you for the $10, Brian. And then, yo, Stephanie, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. I'm sorry, man. We'll hop into the debate here in like 3 seconds. I want to see 1,000 Stephanie W's down below in that chat saying happy birthday soon. Yeah, guys, it's still not for another week. I want to make that one clear. Stephanie with $100 says love you and all that you do. Here's $100 for an IV after your birthday. God, I love you guys. Not only are you kind, but you're fucking hilarious. Oh, dude, Stephanie, seriously, on a real note, that is incredibly kind of you. That is so much money. I do not deserve that. And thank you for your generosity. Let's get 1,000 Stephanie W's down below in that chat while we pass the mic over to JP to tell us why he supports Trump. Take it away.
W Stephanie. Let me pause my TV for a minute here. Support Trump for multiple reasons. Dean, I won't lie, you probably know who I am. I'm here to say I'm waiting for Parker to pay me, man. I'm the alien immigration guy. I want Parker to pay me, man.
You're really running. Yeah, you're really running with that one, aren't you?
Hey, look, you know, I think he should stick to his word. I don't think
listen. So you know, like those like childhood actors that will like do like really well in a movie, and then the movie will go like we'll get like $500 million in the box office. Like it's a huge movie. It's a success. Right.
Sure.
But then after those childhood actors are in that huge successful movie, they don't really do anything else with their acting career.
Right. They kind of fall off.
They fall off. Oh, well. Yeah. But then you still find them on Instagram like 30 years later talking about this movie that performed super well when they were like
you're saying that's me, isn't it? No, man, you know, like I said, I lost a bet to him before I paid him, and you know, I was kind of respecting that to be reciprocated.
Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Wait, why are you guys shitting on Tom Felton? Why are you guys shitting on him? Why are you guys shitting on Tommy Tom? Come on. Nah, okay, Draco Malfoy, we're not talking about Draco. Come on, guys. It's fucking Draco. It's goddamn Draco, you know? Come on. I mean, that was in a different league. Okay, that's different. That's different. Let's go to move on to the next guest, Nevaeh. Everyone, just give us a minute here to get that next guest connected. Steven, thank you so much for the $20 over on Cash App for the Pedialyte in the morning. Thank you, Steven. Bro, show some love to Steven down below in that comment section. Show some love to Steven down below saying Pedialyte for in the morning. Thank you so much, man. Let's get 200 Steven W's. Also, you guys in the comment section are saying that Tom Felton is right-wing. I don't believe it. He follows me on Instagram and likes my shit. There's no way. What's up, Nevaeh? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, what year are you born in?
05.
Okay, awesome. What month?
August.
August 05. Perfect. Okay, real quick. Kimberly, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying towards your greasy breakfast to cure your hangover. Dude, oh my God, 21st, gonna be a movie, man. Thank you for the $10, Kimberly. Then Aaron with another $30 over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Aaron. And John with a 75. Why are you guys going so crazy today? Holy fuck. Dude, John, I want to see at least 750 John W's down below in that comment section. John says, keep it up. Thank you so much, man. You guys are seriously just like going insane today. I really appreciate everyone for the love. I want to seriously, guys, show some love to John down below. Then Aaron with the 30 says, love everything you do. You're so patient. I hope you take care of yourself. Need extra self-care after some of them. Yeah, some of these guests could be pretty rough, but seriously, I really appreciate you for the love, Aaron. And John, once again, thank you so much, as well as Bjorn with the $12 over on PayPal. It's good to see you again, man. Thank you so much for being here. And Nevaeh, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
I support him because I agree with a lot of his policies. I don't necessarily always agree with how far he extends on them, but I agree with, being a Republican, I agree with where he aligns politically.
Logan, I appreciate for the galaxy. So for sure, what specific Trump policies are you a big fan of?
Well, let's go to abortion, since that was also recently talked about, and so that one's kind of actively in my brain. I definitely agree with the fact of getting rid of the federal control of it and allowing the states to decide on what they agree with abortion, because having like one federal policy does lead to that extremism of it being entirely banned or not.
Okay.
So I definitely agree with the fact that he had that pulled there.
Okay, so first and foremost, we just hit a moment of MAGA mobile there. Your connection kind of like bled out there, but it looks like we're back on topic. Also, for everybody in the chat saying that she's a fetus, I mean, she told us she was 20, gave like an accurate birth date, and she doesn't seem to be like talking like a kid, if that makes any sense. Now, if you guys have any evidence that she's underage, feel free to present it. I'll happily, kick her if she actually is under 18 and we have evidence of that. But until we have evidence, don't just like call her like a kid in the comment section just because she has like a higher voice. But anyways, going back to our conversation, Nevaeh. So I completely disagree with you. I do not think that abortion should be legislated on at the state level, because I think that human rights should be protected by the federal government. Let me run you through this. Can we agree on that basis that human rights should be protected by the federal government?
Yes.
Okay. Can we agree that it is a human rights violation to infringe upon somebody else's bodily autonomy unless we have good reason to do so? Okay. So all that this means is that, well, it is a human rights violation to infringe upon a woman's bodily autonomy by denying her access to abortion unless we have good reason to do so, which would be an argument that abortion is wrong. So my next question for you would be, do you have an argument that abortion is wrong? Because if you don't, then you would support abortion being federally protected at the federal level. Okay, Nevaeh left. Have a good rest of your day, Nevaeh. She said, bye-bye, goodbye, Nevaeh. She did not have an argument that abortion was wrong. Saying no would have been a better look than running. Listen, just real quick. This is to Nevaeh and everybody else who does shit like that. Saying no is better looking than running. So let's go to move on to that next Trump supporter. Hop in the queue if you support Trump. And we already have a couple more donations to get around to here. Let's go and load up that next guest. We got I Play Rocket League connecting. First and foremost, Lewis, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo for the ibuprofen for that post-birthday headache. Love you. You guys are cracking me up today. Lewis, thank you. Thank you for the $20 and the funny-ass message. Show some love to Lewis down below. As well as Aaron. Dude, Aaron with another $100 donation on Venmo. Holy fuck, let's get 1,000 Aaron W's. That is ERIN. Seriously, Aaron, thank you so much for all of the love. Seriously, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Aaron. Aaron with $100 says, big fan of you sticking up for the guests before destroying them. Well, I try to be fair. I try my hardest to be fair. Aaron, thank you for another $100. For those of you watching, please show some love to Aaron down below, very seriously. As well as Cody for the $10 on Cash App for the sweet 3 a.m. Taco Bell. You guys are sending me money for some very awesome causes. 3 a.m. Taco Bell and ibuprofen after a hangover. You guys get it. I appreciate you for the $10, Cody. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I consider myself I support parts of it, but not fully a Trump supporter. You know what I mean?
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. So if you were to go back in time to November, who would you vote for?
I don't know. That's why I wanna. That's why I wanna talk to you. Like I listen to a lot
So-
of your debates.
My friend, if you're in a position where you don't know, you're kind of just wanting to learn more, my best recommendation to you would just be to hang out in the live, listen to what I have to say, tune into the debates, and maybe watch a couple of my videos. And I don't like blame you at all for coming up here. You know, it's like really easy to like misconstrue the purpose of the live, but the purpose of the live is to talk to people that think that they do know, to try to change their mind, while also advocating for more education for those watching. And I feel like you would better fit inside of the category of like taking value away from the live streams by watching, compared to the category of like debating me on stream. But I appreciate you for coming up, man. Let's go and get that next Trump supporter up here. If you find yourself in the queue, make sure that it means that you're an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. And yeah, let's go to get that next guest, Owen, connected right now. In the meantime, Charlotte, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. Let's get 200 Charlotte W's in the chat saying, side note, do you believe in the paranormal? I'm going to be honest, not really. Thank you for the love though, Charlotte. I know, disappointing answer. Very disappointing answer, but thank you so much for the $20. What's up, Owen? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Age, please.
20.
Okay, Mr. Owen, it sounds like you got something going on with your mic. Are you talking to me through AirPods, headphones,
Yeah,
anything?
AirPods.
If you could take the AirPods out, your mic quality would be about 1,000,000,000 times better, my friend.
Trust me, it's not. My microphone's fucked up.
Okay, all right, then this will work because we could hear you fine. Take it away, Mr. Owen. Why do you support the orange fascist wannabe authoritarian dictator as president?
I mean, because I'm getting everything I voted for and more.
Wait, so you voted for having your constitutional rights infringed upon? Yesterday he signed an
My
executive...
constitutional rights aren't being infringed upon.
I was just going to tell you how.
I'd
Yesterday...
like to know how.
For sure. Most recent example. Yesterday, he signed an executive order into law to ban burning of the American flag and to send people that do
Yes,
it to
good.
jail. Okay.
Good.
So you
You
support
burn the
infringing
American
upon
flag.
So you support
If you
infringing
burn
upon
the
the
flag, you either
Constitution.
deserve to get your ass kicked or you deserve to be locked up. I think they should get their ass kicked, personally.
Banning the burning of the American flag, which is unconstitutional, is more anti-American than burning the flag in of itself.
Burning the flag is extremely anti-American. That's disrespectful as fuck to all the veterans.
Right? And it's even more disrespectful to the veterans to explicitly violate and contradict and attempt to take away the protections offered to us by the Constitution, which they lost their lives for. Okay?
Once again,
because like, think about
when
it.
you burn a
What do you think that
flag-
flag represents? What does that flag represent? Tell me.
America.
America? America as a whole? Like the country of America?
America, our military, everything about America, including our military.
Okay. I mean, what does our military do? Does our military fight to protect our rights?
Dude, you don't have a right to burn a flag.
Actually, you do. SCOTUS ruled in 1898 in the Texas v. Johnson case that it is
And if you
explicitly...
do, I think there
One
should be a
moment,
right
sir.
to kill.
So, you actually do. So, SCOTUS ruled in 1898 that under the First Amendment's right to freedom of expression, you have a right to burn the flag, right? And as soon as you start talking along the lines of, well, we should take those rights away from you, we should violate our Constitution, and we should actually infringe upon people's speech and expression because they're saying something that you disagree
Like you do with pride
because
flags?
you're saying something that because they're saying something that you disagree with, is a moment where you actually contradict all these values that you claim to represent. You claim to represent America, the land of the free, rights, personal liberties, and freedoms. You claim to represent our servicemen and women that have fought to protect these rights and the rights in of themselves. But then you turn around and you parade a wannabe dictator, 34-count felon, infringing on these rights, even the most important right of all, or at least one of them, which would be freedom of speech and expression. You're a joke.
Really, I'm a joke. So here's the thing. What about pride flags? What happens if you burn a pride flag? Oh yeah, it's a hate crime. It should be a hate crime if you burn the American flag.
Yeah, I'll happily have a conversation with you about pride flags after we finish our conversation about the American flag.
Like for instance, have you seen the guy in Florida who did a burnout on a pride flag?
Okay, well,
That guy got charged with a hate crime.
so
should be the same thing
as
for the
well
American
as like
flag.
property theft and vandalism, right? Because it wasn't his. Now, I would appreciate it if you would respond to any of the things that I just said. For everybody watching the live, out of everything that I just said there, a description on how it's constitutionally protected, a description about how that is Donald Trump infringing upon our constitutional protections, including one of the most important rights, which would be the First Amendment. A description
Flag
about how it's our
burning shouldn't be a
veterans
right.
that fought for those rights. It's a description
They
about
did not fight
how-
for the right to burn the American flag.
Yes, they did.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they fought for the right for everybody to be able to voice their feelings, their frustrations, regardless if you agree or
veterans-
disagree or not. So can you
Older
respond to any of
veterans
those facts?
hate flag burning. You're aware of this, right?
Okay.
They
I mean,
all hate flag burning.
yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say they all do. I mean, there's a video of a
I
veteran
personally
literally
think
burning
that if you
American.
burn a flag, you should.
There's literally a video of a veteran burning an American flag in protest of Trump yesterday. So I wouldn't use such hasty generalizations. But I wouldn't doubt it that there's a lot of veterans out there that look at people that burn the flag and they're like, come on, that is disrespectful. There's a
No,
lot of
they should get
veterans.
their ass kicked.
Okay. Oh, and do you have any level of self-control?
No, I do have self-control. I
Then
think people.
demonstrate it to me by not interrupting me like a child. Since the moment you joined this live, I've been muting you when I want to speak because I'm just so used to children interrupting me. Right? But quite frankly, Owen, it's kind of getting a little old. So now instead of me restraining you, I'm just simply going to ask you to restrain yourself. Is that fair? Phenomenal. Now I'm going to go back to what I said. I was just simply trying to respond to a point that you brought up, and then he interrupted me 3 times midway through. So once again, the point that you made was that a lot of veterans hate burning the American flag. Actually, you said all veterans. So my first response was to say,
The majority.
I would really like it if you want to interrupt me, Owen. Is that possible?
I was correcting you.
You said all.
I said the majority.
You said all. If you meant to say the majority, that's fine. You just misspoke.
I meant to say the majority.
Okay. All right. So we'll just say a lot. If you want to posit that a lot of veterans may not like or may hate burning the American flag, I won't disagree with you. I bet there's a shit ton of veterans out there that will look at people burning the American flag and get a little upset because they fought for the country and they think that's anti-American or disrespectful. Okay? Right? But guess what? Those veterans also fought for people to have the right to do as they wish within certain parameters, even if you disagree with it, right? So this is why I say, I'll grant you for the intents and purposes of this debate that burning the flag is anti-American. It is more anti-American to infringe upon our constitutional rights to ban burning the flag than it is to burn the American flag in of itself.
Okay, here's a better solution. What if instead of saying you get locked up, you can legally kick someone's ass for burning the flag?
So you're not
think
going to
that's a
respond to
fair
anything I
substitute.
just said? You just want to go ooga booga kick ass? Yeah, what's your, how many continents are there?
Just fucking 7.
Name them.
Antarctica, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia.
I only counted 6.
That was 7, buddy. I said North America, South America, Antarctica, Australia, Asia,
That time I only counted 5.
Europe. There's Europe too. I'm stupid. I forgot Europe. My bad.
Okay. I actually, so now we're at 6. What's the 7th?
7th?
Because
You
once
talking about
again,
Antarctica?
you already said Antarctica.
Oh, Africa. I'm stupid.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, my friend.
Sorry, I can't remember everything, and my mind is in a fucking book, bud.
Well, listen, the reason why I just tried to embarrass your level of intelligence isn't because I'm an asshole. It's because I gave you a very fair point on the discussion that we're having related to our constitutional rights, freedoms, and liberties, and what free speech is, and how our Constitution allows for speech, even if you disagree with it, including the American flag. And then you literally responded to it by saying, "Ooga booga, I want to beat their ass." Like, dude, Owen, come on.
No, what I'm
He got banned for violent behaviors and criminal activities. Oh, can anybody guess the violent behaviors and criminal activities that he got banned for? I could take a guess. I could take a guess. Yeah, only like the one thing he repeated about 1 billion times. Jesus. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Hop back, View Sport Trump. I'll happily get you pulled up here. Everyone, just give us a minute, y'all. Okay. All right. Who's next? We got the Daily Pursuit loading in. While we got the Daily Pursuit loading in quickly, Max, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Said, I'm in the Navy. This guy sucks. Burning the flag is not disrespecting me in any way. Actually, that's what I fight for. Exactly. Fighting for the right to do so. And then Aaron with the $50. Over on Venmo again. Aaron, you've been so kind today. Let's get another 500 Aaron W's. Aaron says, Olin is a silly Billy. You're so patient. Bro, dude, Aaron is like literally dropping like $50, $100 just to shit on the guests. Aaron, I want to be like you one day. Let me tell you. I appreciate you for the $50. And then Beth, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you, Beth. Show some love to Beth down below. Saying, have some dinner with all those drinks on me. Also in honor of my son, who will turn 30 the day after you. Thank you, Beth. You guys have been so kind. Thank you so much. Thank you. As well as Noah with a 5 with the music recommendations. Thank you. Maya with an 8. Thank you so much. Eve with a 10 saying have a fun 21st. Thank you so much. Charlotte with a 5. Thank you so much. And then Charlotte with another 20. Oh, actually, that was from a while ago asking me if I believe in the paranormal. Once again, I do not. Okay, what's going on in the Daily Preach? Do you support Trump?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, quickly before we hop into the debate, Kylie with the 10 Canadian dollars on Super Chat, Nicholas with the 10 Canadian dollars on Super Chat, and Wacky Lack with a 5. Thank you so much. And then Rowdy Weldon with the $10 over on Venmo, saying happy B-Day from Nashville. Once again, I just want to clarify, it's not for another 6 days. I thought I should repeat that, but thank you so much for the love, Rowdy. You were awesome. Take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what he was saying, because obviously he was wrong with what he was going for. I agree. I got the military last month, but I do think that we fought for those freedoms. I think what's important to note, though, is that just because it's currently unconstitutional doesn't mean that you can't make amendments, right? So I think that that's something that was almost passed, by the way. In 2006, they did almost push this bill through, the Flag Desecration Act or amendment that was passed by the House and one vote shy by the Senate. So I think it's just an important point to make that these things do get addressed and they should be at least continued conversation, not just like, oh, it's unconstitutional and we shouldn't address it any further. And that's like an absolute truth, right? So I just want to make that point.
Well, it is an absolute truth that it is unconstitutional, and it's also an absolute truth that Donald Trump's EO is in violation of the Constitution. However, these two absolute truths do not disqualify a third absolute truth, which is that the Constitution can be changed through the legal ratification of a new amendment requiring 75% of congressional approval. However, an executive order from the president is not legal ratification from 75% of Congress.
No, I definitely agree. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that, like, I know some people are just unaware of exactly how that happens. I think that's a good educational point, that just because it's currently unconstitutional doesn't mean they're not good discussion to have with folks, because I think that,
nobody here is denying that that the Constitution can be changed. We're just simply saying that if you attempt to change the Constitution through an executive order by one man and one branch of government, that's a mark of authoritarianism.
I would agree with that. I think that's a fair point. But I do think that it was also just one vote shy of the Senate from being passed. So it's almost, I can't obviously say the majority because that wouldn't legally make sense, but it is in terms of data and statistics, the majority would vote that. So it's getting closer and closer to that being true. But you're right, it's definitely unconstitutional currently. I wanted to ask really quick just on the abortion point from, I know shifting topics to a totally different conversation, but I'm a little torn on abortion. So I want to kind of hear your intake or just take in general, similar to the absolute truth part. Do you believe that, so I guess all abortion should be legal? Is that kind of your stance? Or
do I think all abortion should be legal? I think that like a vast majority of abortion should be legal.
And define that, I guess, like go a little further if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm okay with like elective lethal abortions, like prior to 24 weeks. And then I'm okay with
why
lethal
24
abortions
weeks?
As a result. Well, let me finish describing my stance. Then I'm also okay with lethal abortions as a result of like rape, the mother's life, or incest at any point throughout the presidency. Then I'm okay with like non-lethal elective abortions after 24 weeks.
After 24 weeks, okay. I'm a little torn, right? Because right now it sits at some ridiculous number. 97% of abortions are elective and all that kind of stuff.
And then 99.9% of elective abortions occur in the first 20 weeks. Yeah.
Right. So I just wanted to see where your stance was. Are you okay with abortion past 20 and why 24 weeks, if you don't mind me asking there?
Yeah, because that's when it is most likely that consciousness or sentience emerges in the life of the fetus. It's around that 20 through 24 week part as a result of the thymocortical connections. And this is an understanding as a consensus of biologists and scientists and doctors that study neuroscience.
Okay. So do you? The point that I'm getting at though is, I guess, you're just okay with elective abortion because
I just don't think that there's any reason why it's wrong.
do you not see that there could be valued human life there? Is that not something you agree with, or?
Yeah, I don't think that like human life on its own is valuable. No, like I don't think our species classification is what gives us value. Come on, that's outrageous.
Okay.
And I'll prove it. I'll prove it. When
Okay,
a
go ahead.
child dies, why do you cry? Is it because you lost a member of our species?
To a certain degree, I think so. But there's some sort of, there's some sort of emotional connection that we have to. I think we're relatively in groupish, right? I mean, unless you're into bestiality, that we support our own kind and we, like to see our own kind thrive. So I think that
let's test that. Let's test that theory. That if a child dies, we do cry because we're losing a member of our species, and we like to support our own kind. That kind being humans. So what if that child wasn't human, and maybe let's imagine a hypothetical where they're Kryptonian. Maybe Superman, when he was 7 years old, Lex Luthor teleports to him and stabs him in the heart with kryptonite. Superman dies. Are you gonna cry?
Probably not.
What? Wait, so you're telling me that like you've never watched a movie like Planet of the Apes or Superman and felt as if like harm caused towards non-humans like Caesar or like Superman was wrong?
Absolutely, but it's not the same value that I feel like. I mean, first of all, that's a bad example because that's just pulling an emotional. It's something I relate to my own experience in the human life, but it's
what would you say? Like literally, if like Caesar from Planet of the Apes existed, would Caesar from Planet of the Apes have the right to life?
Well, that's a hypothetical that wouldn't really like play out in the real world.
Right, but it's a hypothetical that we could use to test your logic. So we have like a conceptual understanding of what it would be like if Caesar actually did exist. So even though Caesar will likely never actually exist, because we can like conceptualize of it, we could use it to test the logic underpinning your principles. Like moral principles don't actually exist in the real world, right? Moral principles exist in the realm of conceptualism. We conceive of moral principles the same way we could conceive of hypotheticals.
Sure. Well, like the same way you're hypothetical with zygotes, right? You always I always hear that conversation. I think Parker does it sometimes. I don't exactly know, but I hear the whole, would you rather save 10 zygotes or one human baby? But it's like,
well, I didn't ask you that question. With all due respect, I asked you if Caesar from the Planet of the Apes was real and existed, would Caesar have the right to life?
I think that, I mean, it's a tough question because I don't believe killing anything morally is really, I mean, it depends on the scenario, I guess. I would have to know more about
I gave you the scenario. Caesar existing with consciousness like ours. In the same context as the movies?
I mean, I would say that, yes, he has a right to life.
Okay, all right. So then you're just telling me that Caesar has a right to life, but Caesar's not human. So seemingly, right, the right to life and moral value is not rooted within our species classification. So then why do you value the life of the fetus?
I think that, no, morally, we do value the human life, first of all, probably at the utmost of other species is where I would start there.
So do you think it's murder to pull the plug on a brain dead patient in a hospital? Because they're human and alive. They're just not conscious and never will be again.
Well, can you define murder? I need to know your definition before I can answer that.
Yeah, the unjust termination of a human life. Typically, unjust would be rooted within violation of one's right to live.
Right. So typically there's predetermined terms, whether that be from the family, the person, or the doctor, that make it justified.
Okay.
Right. So
we'd be ignoring like those with like predetermined desires, right? So like I don't have like a DNR. If I were to get struck by a bus on my way to get ice cream after I end my stream and become brain dead, well, like if the doctor pulled the plug on me with my family's consent, would that be wrong? Would that be murder?
Well, considering the doctor would give justification that would go against your term of unjust murder, right?
Okay, so unjust. It wouldn't be wrong. So if it's not wrong to kill a brain dead patient without the brain dead patient's consent, then you're basically telling me that no, just being human and alive on its own is not what gives you the right to live, right? Because a brain dead patient is just as human as me. A brain dead patient is just as biologically alive as me. But you're telling me there's a difference between that brain dead patient and myself that gives me the right to live, that makes it wrong to kill me, but at the same time doesn't give the brain dead patient the right to live, doesn't make it wrong to kill them, right? And the only differences that I could think between me and that brain dead patient would be my abilities to actualize experiences and to subjectively perceive the world around me. And the brain dead patient doesn't have that trait, so we don't give them the right to life. Very similarly, a fetus before 20 through 24 weeks cannot deploy subjective experiences, can't actualize the world around them, can't think, can't feel at any level. And if we've already determined that it's the lack of that trait in the brain dead patient that justifies giving their family the ability to kill them, well, why doesn't the lack of that trait in the fetus justify giving the mother and
Well, I
the
think
body
there's a
that
key
fetus
point
is growing
with-
in the ability to, at the bare minimum, just remove them from their uterus?
Sure. I think there's definitely, I think the hypothetical has a little too much nuance that you're missing there. The elective abortion is done by somebody who's not medically trained, has no medical / biology, chemistry background in the sense of
Doctors do
human-
abortions.
Sure, but they're not the one
Doctors are
electing
medically
abortion.
trained.
In terms of pulling the plug, they're more than not. There's a high number, I don't exactly know the percentage, where the doctor actually is the one who recommends the decision, making it justified, while elective abortion, if the right is there, does not allow the doctor to have a say. So that wouldn't be something that I would be consciously able to make the decision because I wouldn't know how to make the decision.
Oh, I think
because-
that you have a big misunderstanding. Ultimately, the family has a say, not the doctor.
Right, with the doctor, with expertise from somebody who has studied it their entire life, who understands all of the circumstance with everything from what you just said from a biological and anatomical standpoint. So you're saying just because you get to make that decision that
Does
you would
anybody
know
understand what the hell this guy's saying? I don't know what you're saying, man.
All right. Well, I hear you. I can move on. I'm not really, I'm still kind of in the middle somewhere. So I just wanted to kind of hear your perspective there. But I think you have some good points. So I'll do more research and we can connect on it maybe later.
You know what? I'll take that. You have a good rest of your day.
Yep.
We're gonna move on to the next guest. You know, honestly, if a guest wants to bow out, like when I'm just not understanding what they're saying, I will take that. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. We'll get you pulled up here. Also, guys, we may be getting a Parker cameo here shortly because I have to use a restroom and I'm probably gonna reach out to him within the next 10 minutes to see if he could cover me while I'm gone. Maddie, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Maddie says, thank you for having patience with MAGA because I cannot. It's been a developed skill. I've definitely developed it to a point where it's like clear I have patience with him. But God, I've had to fight to develop that skill. But thank you for the $10, Maddie. That is MATIE. Welcome in, Brandon. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I
Now,
do.
what is your age?
33.
Perfect. Erica, also thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying 21st birthday tequila shot. Thank you, Erica. And then Aaron with the $25 on Venmo saying you give me hope for my daughter's future. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you for being here. And I'm happy that the streams give you hope. I'm happy that the streams make you feel a little bit better about the country that we're living in and its future. Thank you, Aaron, for the $25. Show some love to Aaron down below, as well as Gloomy and Dylan. Thank you both for the $5. Then Brent with a 10. Thank you so much, Brent. And then Mason, thank you so much for the $21 over on Venmo, saying happy early birthday. Thank you, Mason. Let's get 200 Mason W's, as well as Emily with a 5, Michelle with a 2. Thank you so much. And then Sarah, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. Jesus, Sarah. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. That is so much money. Thank you, Sarah. Let's get 500 Sarah W's down below. Sarah says, Dean, I hope your parents are proud of you. And as a parent of a cis white son, I'm proud of you. You too. I work hard to educate all of my kids, but raising a white son is such a huge responsibility. If he grows half the ally as you are, I will be so grateful and proud of him. From Asher. Well, Asher, thank you so much for the $50. Make sure those W's are going to Asher, not to Sarah. And Asher, I really appreciate you for your kindness. You know, my parents are MAGA, believe it or not, but they still are proud of me for what I do. I appreciate you so much for the love, as well as Kristen with a 10, Kill Eagle with a 10. Thank you so much. And then Maya with the $8. Thank you guys so much for the love over on Venmo and PayPal. You guys have been so incredibly kind today. Just know that I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. As well as Caesar, thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat, and thank you for your service. Now, Brandon, take it away. Why do you support Trump as president?
Oh, I wanted to just jump in on the previous conversation, but I think my biggest thing probably with him is deportations.
Ooh, okay. Okay. This is interesting. We haven't talked about deportation so far today. Well, let's just go ahead and jump to the chase here, my friend. Name one singular way that mass deportation materially benefits our country.
I would say the biggest materialization that it'll bring us is, I would say, the fact that we should grow from within, and if we just have, you know, a ton of undocumented people that come in from who knows where, we don't know who they are, we don't know what they're bringing in, I think you just have an out of control country eventually.
Yeah, so
if it continues.
we still haven't heard a material benefit. I mean, so you're like throwing rhetoric around, like grow from within, we don't know undocumented immigrants, out of control country, but like none of those are like clear material benefits.
I think those things, you know, will materialize over time.
Into what? What will they materialize into? How will our country or the people in our country be better off because of mass deportation?
Chaos. I'd say chaos, crime.
There'd be less crime. False. So undocumented immigrants.
Yeah.
Undocumented immigrants are significantly less likely to commit crimes than citizens. They account for 1% of total violent crime. They're 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes. As well as, if we were to deport them all, we'd have a higher level of nominal crime because of the devastating economic effects of losing close to $2 trillion off of our GDP and the rebounding effects that would have on poverty levels. See, poverty and crime have a relationship with one another. Poverty causes crime. And because mass deportation would devastate our economy and cause more poverty, it would thereby also cause more crime.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I've also heard stuff that, you know, statistics and whatnot that go against it. But
well, feel free to give them to me. I don't think you can.
My main thing, I wanted to just get your opinion. I was listening to the previous conversation with the other gentleman, and then I'll let somebody else join in. But
well,
thank you for having me.
Very quickly before we move on, what statistics have you heard from who or where, and how do they contradict the data that I just gave you?
Main thing is the statistics that you brought up about 1%. I from what I've remember hearing as far as statistics go, the crimes as far as illegal aliens and whatnot, it's not extremely higher, it's not extremely lower, but it's around it's somewhere near, you know, what our crime statistics are. And the main thing is if they weren't here, it would never happen. And if we can control who comes in, you know, through legal processes instead of, you know, just coming across and we have no idea who they are and there's a ton of them, it's just why have that happen when you can let people come in here legally, know who people are, and just control the country that way. It just leads me to think chaos and.
Okay, I'm gonna clear up your point for you. I think your point there was that the statistics you've seen would indicate undocumented immigrants are just as likely to commit crimes as citizens. Sure. What's your source? Because I'll tell you my source. My source is PNAS. They've been tracking crime rates since the 19th century. They've consistently reported that undocumented immigrants are significantly less likely to commit any and all crimes.
No, I mean, I can't. I just have my phone. I'm kind of watching baseball.
So you
in
can't
the
give
background. I don't know. I don't have any resources.
Sure. So because you can't give those resources, then I wouldn't say that that's a warranted claim. Now, moving on to the second part of what you said there. You said if they weren't here in the first place, the crime wouldn't have happened in the first place. So I already accounted for this by describing that if we remove them all, there'd be more crime, right? So I understand that if we removed all the undocumented immigrants, if they weren't here in the first place, that 1% of violent crimes that are committed by them wouldn't have been committed. Okay, you're right. But guess what? Looking forward, if we remove them all, if we do a mass deportation, we'll only have more victims of more crimes. If we didn't do a mass deportation in the first place, then we wouldn't have had these more victims of more crimes either. Also, I appreciate you guys for 1 million likes on the TikTok stream. W's. It's a lot. Feel free to unmute. I sent you an invite. You could also unmute yourself by clicking on your profile picture, then clicking the mic in the top right-hand corner. There you go.
I don't agree with the statistics that you're relaying to me. I've heard different. I've seen different. I can't link any sources right now. I'm on this and whatnot.
Okay.
But
the main thing, you can't just disagree with something with no reason.
Opinion. I wanted to get your opinion on the previous conversation, as far as abortion and whatnot. The ending that you were bringing up, I would have to go back. I don't know if somebody can look it up or what I said previously as far as my response to it. Let me see if I can find it. But the main thing where you were saying as far as, sentience, and they would basically never know that they were killed because they can't think and whatnot, basically, is what you were implying. The biggest thing that comes to my head is that when you perform an abortion, I guess you're basically saying that they have the same brain function as a brain dead person, and a doctor pulling the plug and whatnot. The biggest thing as far as that goes is when you pull the plug on somebody that's brain dead, typically they have a very low probability of ever living a life, or if they do live a life, it's drastically impacted. They don't have the same
Okay.
cognitive
So
functions.
the
and
end is
whatnot,
that the
but
fetus will have
typically they
sentience in
die.
the future, and that's a difference.
Exactly.
All right,
I don't understand how you can pull the plug on a baby that has an extremely high possibility of future life.
Right. So
And that's the biggest.
Yeah, the reason I brought up
moral difference
the reason
between the
I
two that
so the reason I brought up
and
the
a lot
brain-
of other people
my
view
friend,
it that
the,
way
the-
too.
the reason I brought up the brain dead example is because that guest who I was debating was not arguing that it's wrong to kill the fetus because it will have a future. He was arguing that it's wrong to kill the fetus because it's human and alive, right? So
Right.
some analogies.
Do you agree with? Do you agree with me? when I
Can you stop talking?
say that?
So some analogies that I'll give when I'm debating somebody will only be relevant as applied to their position. All right. You have a different position, meaning that analogy would not be relevant to you. Okay. The analogy of a brain dead patient is only relevant towards a position that fetuses are valuable because they're both human and alive. But I will make it clear, I will not debate you on abortion until you're able to finish our debate as it would relate to immigration. You ended up telling me that you disagree with me because you've seen statistics from somewhere, someplace in time, but you don't know what they are and you don't know where they came from, and you don't know where they come
No,
from.
I know what they are.
So,
I
so
just don't
that's
remember
not
exactly
so
what
that's
the
not how we
was.
debate, right? So if we want to be able to continue in our conversation, what I'd recommend you do is to literally go on pause, go to Google and attempt to find them. But we can't just throw baseless claims with like no evidence to support them inside of like a debate. We just can't do that, right? So I'll either suggest you go find that source or I move on to the next guest. We're at a fork in the road. Somebody in the YouTube chat says, Dean, you are not debating anybody. Yeah, like low key, like, yeah, bro. I feel like it's easy to forget. Like this is a debate live. You know what I mean? And I mean, it looks like you went on pause. By the way, when you're on pause, I can't hear you, but feel free to look for that. Welcome in, MAGA Owen. Do you support Trump? MAGA Owen, hello. MAGA Owen is not here. I don't know what Brandon's doing. I don't know if Brandon is looking for a source or not. Keep in mind, Brandon, if you could hear me right now, I can't hear you. And if you're trying to leave the live, just come back and let me know.
No, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yeah. So are you trying to look for that source?
Yes, I was.
Perfect.
You can let other people join if you want, or you can kick me. I just, my main thing, I just wanted to get your opinion on that abortion stance as far.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of your day. Yeah, I mean, if you did finish that debate with me out on immigration, I would have happily talked to abortion about abortion with you. But I was not willing to move on from the immigration talk until you were able to provide a source. Welcome in. What's going on, Joshua? Do you support Trump?
Brother, I don't really, I guess.
You don't?
I don't support it.
Yeah, basement. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live. You guys hop in that queue if you support Trump. We got Rob loading up. While we got Rob loading up, Aaron, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Let's show some even more love to Aaron. Aaron says, my mom is an immigrant, and my daughter is autistic. I am terrified of the stigma on immigrants. She has an accent, and his take on mental health / autism. Thank you for standing up for our communities. I have to stop watching now. I will watch again soon. Aaron, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And just know that me, as well as so many others, are in your corner. I absolutely believe that it must feel incredibly crushing at times seeing a president be so belligerent and harmful to people so close to you. And we all love you. As well as Naughty, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you, Naughty. Let's show some love to Naughty down below in that chat. That is NATI. Thank you. As well as Brittany. That is BRITNEY. And Brittany with a $50 over on PayPal says, it's my birthday. I love listening to you. Thank you for all your knowledge. First and foremost, thank you for the $50 donation over on PayPal. And happy fucking birthday, bro. While we're hopping into this next conversation with Rob, I want y'all to spam happy birthday, Brittany. But it is Brittany spelled interestingly. It is Britni. So show some love to Brittany down below in that comment section. I appreciate everyone so much for the love. And Mr. Rob, what is going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay.
Times 1,000.
Times 1,000.
And if you bring Parker up here right now, like you said you were, I will debate both of y'all.
Oh,
it will
Rob.
be an easy, uncontested layup.
Oh, uncontested layup. I feel like if you tried to lay up, you'd miss the shot.
I'll slam dunk it.
You could slam
Take
dunk?
it to the house.
Can you give me proof that you could dunk? Could you show me a video? Could you turn your camera on and dunk right now?
No, I don't have a basketball goal in my living room.
Oh, you just called it a
But
goal?
if I did,
God, no, bro. If you were like that, if you were that guy, if you could dunk, you wouldn't be calling it a goal. Okay, you'd have a little bit more charm than that.
what do you call a basketball
A fucking hoop.
goal? Oh, much better. Yeah, I'm way behind on the basketball terminology.
All right. Now let's go and hop in.
I
let's go-
guess you beat me on the basketball, whatever it's called now, a hoop. Okay,
let's go to hop
the
into the
official new word for the basketball goal. Oh well.
Do you mind if I ask you a
Okay,
question,
yeah.
Rob, to start a debate today?
You want to ask me a question? Is that what you said?
I want to ask you a question, my friend. Yeah.
8.5 inches.
Rob. I'm sorry. That was like gross.
Okay, just
that was gross. I'm just like, where did that even come from? Where did that even come from, Rob? You caught me off guard. You got me off guard with that one. No, that's gross, dude. Don't be saying that. You just like really caught me off guard. I'm not laughing because it was funny. I'm just laughing because of how outrageous it was. Boo, don't do that. What the fuck are you doing? Rob, this is supposed to be a political
I'm a white
debate
dude.
live.
Yes, and I'm a white dude. So
Anyway, what is you having a white I'm a white dude, therefore I'm like this belligerent and reckless? Like what? What? I'm a white dude. Oh, and
8.5 inches as a white dude.
Can you? Okay. My friend, can I have you? Stop it? Can I have you stop doing that?
Yes, I want to debate you, like for real.
Okay. If you talk about that again, I'm gonna kick you.
Okay, you were the one that started it all.
No, I did not talk about my mouth phallus first. No.
Okay, well, let me go back to the previous debaters. The dude talking about the abortion. Well, I am pro-life myself.
Okay. Yeah, Rob, convince me. I had no clue. I did not expect that you'd be pro-life, Rob. Okay. Like I said, I want to ask you a question. Then we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Here's my question.
Well, first of all, I'm pro-pull-out and not even...
Boom. I muted you again. Stop talking about sex. What are you doing? You're weird, Rob.
No, I am the smartest dude on every panel I get on. Okay. And I'm here to prove myself as a worthy debater.
It sounds like you're trying to prove yourself as a
yes.
worthy lot of things. But listen. Anyway, can I ask you a question?
Yes, I'm an open book. Anything.
You are open book, Rob. You've already proved that one to us. You love sharing information about yourself. Now, here's my question: Rob, are you a Patriot?
I'm an Atlanta Falcon, not a New England Patriot.
Shut the fuck up and answer my question or get kicked.
Yes, I'm a Patriot.
There you go. And do Patriots support core American values like the Constitution?
Yes, I support the Constitution.
Really? And if we had a president that just belligerently violated the Constitution and took your rights away from you, would you ever support them again?
Well, there's been amendments to the Constitution. There's been 27 amendments to be exact.
Right, which would not be a violation of the Constitution, as amending the Constitution is in accordance with the articles of the Constitution. When I say a violation of the Constitution, I mean
How
an
in the world did
illegal
Donald Trump
violation.
violate the Constitution?
For sure, on day one he signed executive
Oh
order.
my gosh, Santana.
For sure, on day one
Rob?
he signed. Oh, hi, Santana.
Hey, Dean, I'm sorry. I'm going to get out of your way. Rob, keep it in the guardrails.
Are
Don't-
you going to put up the bowling rails
Exactly.
this time?
You know the analogy. Keep it in the guardrails. Have a normal conversation with Dean, and don't say the weird stuff.
Oh, he
Yes,
does this a
I-
lot.
Yes, this is Rob. He is the smartest conservative on TikTok.
Times 1,000. And
He talked to Parker, and Parker actually couldn't stump him with the questions that he ran down. But you talk to him for too long, and he will go off the rails. So there's that.
Okay.
wow.
I'm gonna try to get you quick then.
Have fun, Dean.
I thought we were cool with
Have fun.
Santana. I
Thank
thought you were.
Thank you, Santana. No, he called you the smartest conservative on TikTok. He seems like he is cool with you. He obviously meant that seriously. No, obviously he meant that seriously. Now, here's my question. So you said that you're a patriot. You said that you'd support the Constitution. Would you ever support a president that has belligerently violated the Constitution? Yes or no?
How has he violated the Constitution?
Hey, Rob,
Everything
quite
that he's
frankly,
is an
not an
executive
answer.
order.
Not an answer to my question.
It's an executive order. that
Smart
he's passed.
conservative. Re-answer my question. Try again. Would you ever support a president that has belligerently violated the Constitution multiple times as a patriot that supports the Constitution?
Yes, there's reasons to violate the Constitution, and
Okay. So you
yes,
think-
I
so-
think like a normal person.
Okay,
I don't.
So I wish that we had heard this rhetoric before, right? No, folks, this is the first and only time you will hear a Trump supporter, a conservative, a MAGA, a Republican sit and say anywhere publicly that they think there is good reason to infringe upon your First Amendment rights. Right? Because that's what he's saying right now. Yesterday, Donald Trump signed an executive order into law to take away your First Amendment right to burn the American flag. That's protected under freedom of expression per SCOTUS ruling from the 80s. Now, Donald Trump is saying, not Donald Trump. Rob is saying, you know what? Actually, I support that. There is good reason to infringe upon your freedom of speech. Or like Executive Order number 14160 signed into law the first day of Donald Trump's term, which attempted to ban birthright citizenship for some of those that it's guaranteed unto. Did you support that? Did you support him infringing upon the 14th Amendment? What is it, Rob?
Yes, he passed the executive order. It was Executive Order 14160, the birthright citizenship. Yes, if you were born here, you're not automatically a citizen.
Actually, you are.
How you figure?
The first section of the 14th Amendment, all persons
So now
born
you're
on American
giving
soil and
now you're
subject to the
giving a
jurisdiction
baby
thereof are citizens.
even more rights. If that baby was born during an AB, an abortion, and they induce labor like they do when they have an abortion, and it unalived in the birth canal, that's what they plan. But if it survives the abortion, then it's still got citizenship, right?
So hypothetically, if a fetus survived an abortion, they would get citizenship.
Okay.
Okay.
Then now you're agreeing that that's okay, and you're not going to just toss the baby in the dumpster.
Yeah, I wouldn't toss a baby in a dumpster, Rob.
Okay, I'm glad that we agree on that.
Okay, so now that we've agreed that neither of us would toss a baby in a dumpster, hopefully you could respond to my points about how Donald Trump has been belligerently violating the Constitution since his first day in office.
No, he has just passed executive orders that he's entitled to.
No, the president is not entitled to pass executive orders that belligerently violate the Constitution as they're unconstitutional.
How does that violate the Constitution?
How? Okay. Good question. So, Executive Order number 14160 violated the Constitution by stating that the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil are not citizens. But the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil are guaranteed citizenship per the first section of the 14th Amendment, which reads as all persons born or naturalized on U.S. soil and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States of America. And as long as you accept that the children of undocumented immigrants are persons, then you accept that they are citizens.
Yeah, that's cool with me. You have won me over on that one. I would
Angelica,
say.
thank you for the galaxy. So now we've accepted that Donald Trump has belligerently violated the Constitution. So you, as a true pro-America, pro-Constitution patriot, can never support him again.
I support him, yeah, all the way until the the third term when he gets voted in.
Okay, so that would be in violation of the 22nd Amendment. That won't happen either.
And I am going to run for Senate in Georgia.
Oh, I've talked to you. You're the crazy dude that's running for Senate.
No, my views and philosophies are better
Yeah,
than
the
anyone.
views and philosophies. No, how old are you?
Yes.
How old are you?
51.
Okay.
I know I look younger.
What I
and,
want you to do is I want you to stop reading, stop learning, and stop thinking for the next 30 years. Lock yourself in a room until you're 81 years old, and then run for Senate. You'll win.
Dude, I've got people trying to.
No, you're too young and too smart. You're too young and you're too smart, Rob.
Yes,
you're
everybody,
too young and you're too
all the
smart to win a-
Democrats are
yeah.
trying to accuse Trump of having a bruise on his hand, and that's like making him physically incapable of running the country.
No, they're just saying that he's going to die soon.
They're just reaching for something,
Well,
knowing that he is winning like times 1,000 and looking for something. And Joe Biden in the debate.
But Joe
lost
Biden cook
miserably.
Cook, Rob. Cook. Dude, that was a great point. The Democrats and the Trump and the hand and the bruise and me running for Senate, but Joe Biden lost miserably. I don't have a response, Rob. You've got me. Times 1,000.
Okay. Well, what do you think about Executive Order 14165, securing the borders and get rid of the catch and release?
Well, I'm going to release you back down to the comment section to move on. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Guys, hop in that queue. If you support Trump, we'll bring you up here and we'll have a discussion. Kelly, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo money for a birthday basketball goal. Let's go, Kelly. Thank you for the 10. And then Aaron, thank you for another $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Aaron. Aaron with the $25 says for therapy after Rob. Dude, yeah, I'm going to need it. I just kicked him, bro. Like, I'm not going to subjugate myself to that shit, if I'm going to be honest. And then Bjorn, thank you for the... What's that?
You got nicotine for that.
Oh, you do that? That's a gateway. You shouldn't do that.
No, you do that.
No, you just said that you do that. It's a gateway.
Hey, what flavor is your vape, by the way?
Okay. Well, I don't do that. Are you looking for a recommendation the next time you hit the shop? You got to be at least 21 to do that. You're too young. You're like 13. You can't do that, Owen.
I'm 21, bud.
Debatable.
I'm the same fucking age as you, bud.
Debatable.
I graduated in 2023, bud.
Yeah, debatable.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking real. I will show you my fucking yearbook right now.
Debatable.
Debatable. If I show you a picture of my fucking yearbook, that is debatable.
Debatable.
You guys are fucking dense.
Debatable.
Hold on, let me find my fucking shirt.
Oh, and feel free to re-request on another account. You just said the Nicotine word. I gotta kick you for that, so I just thought I'd like rage bait you a little bit before I did. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get that kid JP. I'd love to talk. I really would. You just can't say that word on. Oh, and you're already back. What the fuck? How did you get back? I didn't even click on you. I was moving on to the next guest. How the fuck are you back?
Bro, I don't know.
Yo, what the fuck, dude? I clicked on some like random guest named like TJ or some shit. And then he somehow got back into the live. What? But no, Bjorn, seriously, thank you for the $11 on PayPal saying Rob has seriously long feet. No, he had very small feet. As well as Casual Guy, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat saying, Captain Compassion has an IQ that starts with a decimal point. Talking about Rob. Thank you for the $20. Sray with a 10. Thank you so much for the love, Sray, as well as Gloomy with a 5. I appreciate that so much. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal and the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of those proceeds, and they go straight to me, and you could even attach a message that I'll read off on live. Hey, what's going on, William? Are you MAGA? No, William's not here. Also, chat, don't doubt it, but he's gone now. So let's move on to the next guest. Here we go. Hunter, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo, saying thank you for your service. Fuck Snoop Dogg. First and foremost, show some love to Hunter down below in that chat. And second of all, I've seen a lot of like anti-Snoop Dogg sentiment in the last couple of days. I don't know what he did. What did he do? What did Snoop Dogg do? What did he do now? If I had to guess, he accepted a lot of money to shill for the right. Am I right? Or am I wrong? I have no clue. Literally no clue. If I had to guess, he sold out for money to the right. What's going on? Do you sports jump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Are you driving?
Yeah, but it's like talking on a phone, right? Is that?
Well, it's like technically against the TOS. So I got to kick you. Let's go to move on to the next guest, Goat. A lot of you guys are saying, yes, he sold out. Come on. We already knew that about Snoop Dogg. We already knew that about Snoop Dogg. We already knew that about Snoop Dogg. Come on, bro. Like, for the last like 30 years, he's just been doing whatever for a paycheck. And now we got into doing politics for a paycheck. Unfortunate. Petra, thank you for the motorcycle. I appreciate that. What's up? Do you sport Trump? No, goodbye. Going to put a MAGA with your age down below in that chat if you'd like to join up. As well as Hunter, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate that. Saying he's homophobic now, I guess. Fuck, what did he do? Thank you for the $10, Hunter. What's going on? Do you support Trump, Joshua?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah. Then Parker with the $10 on Venmo saying Snoop is homophobic now, bro. What? But thank you for the love as well. I gotta do some research into this. Okay, Joshua, take it away. Why the hell do you support the worst president of your life, Donald J. Trump?
I mean, the only thing I support is the undocumented immigrants. You know, I can't just willy nilly over to Canada and just decide to move in there. You know.
Okay. So you're saying that you think that we should deport all undocumented immigrants, and why is that?
Well, because if I went to Canada right now, they would do the same thing to me.
So you're just saying that we should mirror Canadian law, so we should also like
Yeah,
fight to be socialists and have like healthcare for everybody and elect like incredibly liberal leaders. We should also do those two. We should do those things too, right? Right, Joshua?
What do you mean? That makes no sense, bro.
You're saying that we should just do what Canada does. So we should have universal health care. We should have like very liberal leaders.
We govern our own country. We can't even afford our veterans. We got them out homeless, living on the streets right now, and you want to bring over more people, create more homeless people here. How does that make any sense?
So you're not answering my question, Joshua. Shall I repeat it?
No, I'm answering your question of, can I willy-nilly over to Canada? Just answer that.
All right. No, you cannot willy-nilly over to Canada, which is making the implication that because you can't do it in Canada, you shouldn't be able to do it here either. All that you're telling me is like you're interrupting me, Joshua. Why?
Because that's how countries are. I like that. I like that.
Can we do without the interruptions?
Yes, we can. I like that.
Okay. So once again, your argument in a nutshell is simple. You said you can't do it in Canada, so you shouldn't be able to do it here either. Okay, so if you think we should do what Canada does, this means that you also think we should have universal health care. This means that we should also have incredibly liberal leaders. This means that you also think that the U.S. should be accused of being socialist by Republicans, right?
No, I mean, not in a way. I mean, I'm just saying it's
so we shouldn't. So if we shouldn't do what Canada does, if Canada doesn't allow undocumented immigration, apparently we should.
Regardless, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Regardless of what Canada does, right? So then why do you tell me we should do it because Canada does it when it's now regardless of what Canada does?
Well, not to mention the fact there's MS-13 members that are coming over here. You know what I'm saying? Gang members that kill people in other countries, you know? They've killed people in their country that they live in. That's why they're fleeing here. Why do you think they're fleeing here?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to kill people in American soil than citizens. So if you think we should deport people who have a propensity to unalive others, we should start with citizens. Second of all, if you genuinely want to crack down on the undocumented immigrants that are committing violent crimes, that are members of gangs, that have been convicted of prior violent offenses, etc., then we should specifically focus on their removal. Did you know that even though Donald Trump has funded ICE an additional $150 billion, and he has put so much of his administration's focus on the removal of undocumented immigrants, they are still deporting undocumented immigrants with actual violent criminal offenses at lower rates than the Biden-Harris administration because he's focusing on removing everybody. Meanwhile, they focused on only removing the undocumented immigrants with prior violent offenses.
I noticed something about you. You run around questions and you pick certain points what you want to jump at. I noticed
respond
that.
to everything.
No, I noticed that about you.
No, you got pushed, kid.
No,
No,
not
you got pushed. You pushed.
It would make no sense. All right, so like, it just makes no sense at all. What you're.
I don't feel like a lot makes sense to you, my friend.
So like you want to bring somebody over here who potentially might not get a job, who potentially might not, I'm not saying they will, but they potentially might not get a job, potentially might not work. So now they're now living off state assistance, government assistance. So now that's now putting our nation in debt.
Okay. If you care about keeping our nation out of debt, then you actually wouldn't support mass deportation because we know that undocumented immigrants are positive economic contributors that pay upwards of $100 billion per year in taxes, as well as the total net contribution of undocumented immigration to the GDP is close to $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion per year. Get pushed again.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The back of America was built on white men, bud.
Well, you just brought race into it. So let's skip to the chase. You are racist. You think that we should kick immigrants out because they're not white, apparently. And you are also incredibly confused about history, right? I mean, what a way to say it. What a way to say it, Joshua. See, you know what? Actually, thank you. I want to thank you for something specific. You put the disguise on of trying to appear as like a normal person. You put the disguise on of trying to argue that we need to do mass deportation to keep America out of debt. We need to do mass deportation to keep our economy safe, strong, and growing. But then as soon as I disputed all of those claims, then you're like, guess what? It's time to take my mask off. I think we should kick them out because they're not white. Really, Joshua? Feel free to unmute your mic, little buddy.
I mean, no, I was just bringing up statistics because you were bringing up illegal immigrants, which are
undocumented immigrants.
From what I know, mostly Mexican and Hispanic, right? So we're bringing up statistics of what helped America out most. I mean, Henry Ford was a white guy, from what I know, that built cars, right?
Yeah. You know who else was a white guy? Hitler. Oh, let's just start naming white guys and what they did. Jeffrey Dahmer. Dude, the Columbine school shooters.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, I hit you right there. That's why you're just bringing up random ass subjects.
Bro, see what I mean? Oh, my name's Joshua. I'm just going to name a white guy. And because I can name a white guy that did something cool, guess what? This means that white men are superior. But if you name a white guy that didn't do something as cool, I don't know, killed 12 million people in a genocide, then you're just yapping random bullshit. Really? Is that the perspective, Mr. Nazi?
I guess that's the perspective, huh?
Yeah.
If that's how you want to view it, I guess. I mean, that's not how I view it. I'm just bringing up certain facts and principles, and you're just jumping around my
Let's bring up other certain facts. I can name a white man who's guilty of 34 felonies. The same white man's also been held civilly liable for rape. Same white man has boasted about perving on underage naked teenagers. Same white man
has illegal immigrant.
Same white man has. So you're saying he's just like the undocumented immigrants? Well, you think he should be running the country, yet you think the undocumented immigrants should be sent out of the country. Ooh.
No, I think they should be here legally.
Oh, Ames,
there's legal process ways to get into America. There's legal process ways to get into America.
We're gonna move on to the next guy. Sorry. As soon as the guests start to talk about white people in like reference to immigration and like how immigrants like aren't white. You know, there's like it's just like a thin veil for like racism, right? And listen, like that is just bold-faced fascism. Like a suggestion that people should be removed from the country predicated on their race, or like some races are like more efficient or do better than others. That's just like bold-faced fascism. Obviously, like that's not something I should platform. Welcome, and Tyler. Do you support Trump?
I'm actually a former Trump supporter.
Dude, Tyler, I'm really proud of you, man. That suit also looks really good on you, man. Young Chad in the making. Moving on to the next guest. We got Hooking Tanks loading in. Katrina, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo, saying thank you for allowing confused guests to entertain us. Again, you are appreciated. Have a great night. Thank you, Katrina. As well as Parker with the $5 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Parker. Then Megan with the $2 over on PayPal. Thank you guys so much for the love. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? No, Mac.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, sorry. Same guy that was driving. I'm now parked and walking my dog.
Oh, look at that. It works. It works. It works. You have a pretty laggy connection. Let's see if we can make it work. Before we hop into our conversation, S-Ray, thank you for another $20 super chat on YT, saying keep on educating the uneducated Dean. Have a good night, everybody. I hope you have a good night as well, S-Ray. Thank you for the $20. You are fantastic. And Mr. New Guest, take it away. Why are you MAGA?
All right. So first off, I want to say that I think that it's impressive what you do. And the reason that I listen to you as well is because I think that it's important that people listen to people.
You are leaving the live. Can't hear you unless you could see me. You've left the app. Swipe down or had some type of...
Sorry. I accidentally swiped up.
Yeah, there you go. Go on.
I swiped up on accident. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, what I was saying is that I do think that it's important that we have discussion. And I think that's kind of vastly a reason why I support. I say support. I would say that I actually am a complete independent. And I think that the system in a whole is kind of broken in the way that agreeing with one side and not necessarily with multiple candidates makes issues. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that the two-party system is messed up. I don't know if I would have voted for Trump if there was a better candidate, but I just don't think that
all that's relevant right now is
Kamala was the candidate.
Yeah, Kamala. All that's relevant right now is that you think that Donald Trump is doing better than Kamala Harris would have been if she was elected. How about we start there? Why do you think Kamala Harris would be doing worse right now if she won?
Well, I disagree with a lot of her stances. Personally, well, at least what I understand the general Democrat on abortion. I do think that after 24 weeks, that I don't believe that any sort of violent abortion should be legal.
Congratulations. You actually kind of sort of agree with the Democrats. So Roe v. Wade protected all women and girls' access to abortion federally up to around 21 weeks. Then after that point, allowed the states to legislate on elective circumstances, just as Trump is doing now. So you actually agreed with Kamala Harris's perspective more than Trump's because she wanted to protect it for those that you believe deserve protection, and she wanted to leave it up to the state for those that you don't believe deserve that protection.
Okay, that's totally fair. The funny thing is I actually live in Utah, and I debate left claims on a lot of things, but I do still believe in other right.
So, like, what is one thing that Trump has done that you're a fan of?
Let's switch the topic.
Let's start there. What is one thing that Trump has done that you're a fan of?
You know, I think at the very root of it, I think what really inspired me initially is that he was a businessman, and I felt like our is that not a valid point? Is that?
Yeah, not really, man.
I'm just saying I don't.
It's just like I asked you for an action. I asked you for something Trump has done that you're a fan of, and you just didn't answer the question. So. Yeah.
Okay, let me think of another one. I actually am a fan of crypto, so I actually think that it's I like how he supports crypto.
Yeah, so the bipartisan crypto bill was actually written and drafted by a Democrat. Seems like people on both sides of the aisles support crypto.
Fair, but that's another reason I support Trump. Yeah, I guess I might just not be a good candidate. I don't study it a ton. I just kind of like to debate claims as I hear them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, man, if there's anything else,
if that makes any sense.
If there's anything else that you want to talk about today, feel free to re-request, and I'll be here for another handful of hours, so you'll be able to find me. But let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. Go ahead and hop in that queue if you support Trump. Once again, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of those proceeds. They go straight to me, and you get a notification on my phone where I could thank you for the love. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Hi.
Hi. Do you support Trump?
How you doing? I'm middle of the road, right? But I would like to ask you about what your opinion is on the whole conflict in Venezuela.
Do you support Yeah, you already answered that. You kind of answered now. Goodbye. Yo, Austin, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Let's get 200 Austin W's for the $20. Austin says Henry Ford was a Nazi. Lol, ironic. Was Henry Ford a Nazi? I don't know enough about the guy. Was he a Nazi, chat? Welcome in, Hooking. Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Oh, age?
21.
What year were you born in?
2003.
Damn. He guessed right. That was a child. That was like a 12-year-old. But that 12-year-old guessed right. You actually can be born in 03 and be 21. You know what? Congratulations. You were better at math than like 90%. No, 99% of all the other fetuses that join the life. Congratulations. You were over the curve. Let's go and move on to the next guest, Jacob. Michael, thank you so much for the $25 over at Venmo as well. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much, man. For whatever reason, it is literally cutting your message off. But Michael, oh, there it is. Michael says, thank you for educating.
Fuck you, Dean. Fuck you, Dean. Fuck you.
Jesus Christ, calm down. Michael with the 25 says, thank you for educating the masses with indisputable evidence. Keep up the great work defending the Constitution, immigration, and especially women's rights to make decisions about their bodies. Have a good glass of whiskey for your B-Day. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Michael. Everybody watching, please show some love to Michael down below in that comment section. Your words are very meaningful, as well as the $25. Thank you so much, man. You guys have been so kind today. Thank you. What's up, AJA Pro person? Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay, goodbye. As well as Robert. Thank you for the $25 over on Cash App for being awesome. Thank you, Robert. Show some love to Robert down below. Robert, Michael, both of you guys, just thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you're watching, show some love to Robert and Michael while we try to load up the next Trump supporter. We got them loading in right now, everybody. We are looking for that next guest right now. If you want to skip that line, go ahead and put a W Trump in the comment section. We'll get you pulled up here. You know, I was trying to invite like a handful of people spamming W Trump earlier, and their accounts were private or they were like kids or something. It won't even let me. What's going on? Do you support Trump? Topher?
Absolutely.
Is that your name, Topher?
Yeah, it's my name.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
About what?
Like
Trump?
No, like Topher is a name.
Is there something wrong with it?
No, I'm just like genuinely curious. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, very nice. Very nice, Topher. Okay, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, what year you're born in?
2007.
Okay, take it away, man. Why do you support Trump as president?
Well, I want to ask you something. Why do you support Kamala?
Well, Kamala, that's how you pronounce her name. And honestly, Topher, I would have answered this question a year ago. It's just been so long since the election. I just don't think it's super relevant to the conversations I strive to have on this live anymore.
Wait, so you're not going to describe why you like Kamala?
Well, it wouldn't be why I like. It would be like why I liked, why I supported, why I voted for her in the last general election.
So you don't support her anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I don't support her as a presidential candidate because the presidential election is years away, and I don't know who the best candidate may be. Maybe it'll be her. Maybe she won't even run, you know?
Okay.
But I mean, just like a general, I'll give you a general sense. Her character was like 1 billion times better than Trump's. Her policy was 1 billion times better than Trump's.
Her character?
Oh, yeah, her character.
What do you mean by character?
Oh, I mean, like, who
Like
she is as a
personality?
person. She's not like a rapist. She's not a felon. She hasn't boasted about perving on kids. She hasn't told a 10-year-old girl that-
Rapist?
Yeah. Take the G off.
How?
How is
How
Donald
did-
Trump a rapist?
Yes, I want to know that.
Yeah, it was proven by a unanimous jury of 9 inside of a civil court.
Anonymous?
Unanimous. Unanimous is how you pronounce the word.
Oh, unanimous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what's your opinion on deportation?
Bad. Very bad.
How's it bad?
Well, it destroys our economy. It reduces our GDP by a projected 1.1 trillion through 1.7 trillion per year. It costs $2 trillion over 10 years. It increases poverty, destabilizes our manufacturers, makes them produce and sell less by downsizing our consumer force and our labor force, and all the human rights disasters that come alongside it, like throwing legal immigrants in detention centers or illegally deporting people to be beaten, tortured in El Salvador.
All right. So do you support like illegal immigrants getting deported?
No.
No. Wait, why do you not support illegal immigrants getting deported?
Because I support mass amnesty, which is offering them a pathway to residency or citizenship.
So
I don't know where he went. I was hoping that was going to like inevitably play into a debate, but it looks like he accidentally left. Maybe like he intentionally left because he didn't know what to say. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the heat was on. Who knows? Yo, Chelsea, thank you for the $1 over on Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chelsea. That's very kind of you. As well as Alana, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Megan with the $2. Thank you so much, Alana and Megan. Let's go to now load up that next guest right now. What's up, how do I pronounce her name? Kayla. Fucking duh. Kayla, do you support Trump? Goodbye, Kayla. Kayla's not here. All right, we have all the people spamming W Trump down below in that comment section. Let's try to get Ethan up here. Just keep in mind if you're spamming that in the chat, make sure you're at least 18, guys. I got to be an adult to load in. What's up, Ethan? Do you support Trump? I guess the answer to that would have been yes. I feel like you're 17. No, I'll say 15. Are you 15, Ethan? Yeah, that was a yes. That was a yes. Sean, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Sean. Show some love to Sean down below. Sean with the $15 says, Dean, I support you and would like to ask, what sources do you get your information from so I can stay educated? Well, Sean, it really depends on the claim. A lot of my economic information recently has been coming from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities in the Congressional Budget Office, but I also like the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, and I find Reuters to be pretty reliable. What's up, Leighton? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Child? Okay, moving on. Leighton and the other guy left. So still really struggling to find somebody that wants to come up here and give me a piece of their mind. By the way, if you want to come up and you're spamming W Trump down below, just make sure that your account's public. If your account is private, I can't invite you up. Like everybody's spamming W Trump down below as their account on private, so I can't invite you. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
06.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Because he's good.
Okay. And how is he good?
Because he supports the gays and I'm gay.
Okay. Well, I think that you're a troll. But if you're curious, no, he does not support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's going to move on to the next guest right now. Okay. All right. We got Charlie Kirk loading in. What's up, Charlie Kirk? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, you're like 4. Bye. Aaron, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Aaron says, hey, Dean, I'm from Colorado, hoping to meet you one day. I love you. I love you too, Aaron. Yeah, honestly, Colorado is a big state. Colorado is a big state, but, I'm going to be doing some traveling around Colorado, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to a lot of the people here. That'd be fun. As well as Jesse, thank you for the $25 on Venmo saying Troy Kamikaze. You may not be able to say that online, but have fun. Well, I guess we'll see if I can or not. Thank you, Jesse, for the $25. Let's get 250 Jesse W's. As well as Kins, thank you so much for the $20 on Super Chat. Thank you, Jesse and Kins. Show some love to Jesse and Kins down below. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
My friend, what?
Yes.
Are you trying? I'm so sorry. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because he's good. Have you not seen?
Another troll. Moving on. What the hell? Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here. What? Okay. All right. Still looking for some debates. We got A9 connecting into the stream. Hey, A9, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 25.
You know what? I trust it. You really shouldn't support Trump. He is a terrible president. He's been
Haven't
violating.
always. This is a more recent development, actually. Unfortunately,
Okay, take it away.
my last election, I did not vote for Trump. This election, I did.
Oh, so why do you still support him today? After the authoritarianism, after
It's
the
not
constitutional
necessarily-
violations, after the terrible economic policy. Why is that?
Because lesser of two evils. Why would you support Kamala? She already showed you who she was for. Oh, sorry, what was her name?
Kamala.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, she already showed us who she was for 4 years. We didn't see her. We didn't know where she was for 4 years. She had one job, which was the border liaison. She fucked that up. So
Nice. Can you name one thing that any vice president has ever done in American history?
you always say that. I've seen you before. You actually always say that about vice presidents.
So I assume you have an answer because you've heard me say it before, right?
Well, her only job was border liaison, which she did not do.
Oh, answer my question. What's one thing any VP has ever done in American history? Oh. A9, seriously? You're telling me you've heard me ask that question before and you still don't have an answer? See, the reason why I asked that question was just to prove how much of a disingenuous fuckhead you are. To come up here and to tell me that the last vice president of our country. No, one second. Mute.
Okay.
The reason I asked you that question was to expose how much of a disingenuous fuckhead you are. Because you just tried to argue that Kamala Harris was the worst of two evils because you can't name anything she's ever done, especially while she's VP, compared to the authoritarian, adjudicated rapist, fascist 34-count felon that's boasted about perverting on kids. But, like, you can't name anything any VP has ever done in history. Are you telling me that Donald Trump would make a better president than every single vice president that has ever fucking served? Because, once again, that was your standard as it relates to Kamala Harris. You can't answer that question for any other vice president either, meaning that same standard would apply to everybody else too.
Well, to answer your question, yes, I would still choose Trump. Absolutely. Number two,
every vice president in history.
Actually, I actually feel bad for the Democrats because the Democrats actually did not pick Kamala. They picked Biden, and there was never a re-vote for her to come in. They voted for Biden to be the candidate for the Democratic Party. He is dementia-ridden and fell down the stairs 6 times, so they put Kamala, whatever the hell her name is.
Kamala, you're right.
Kamala in, okay? And so I actually feel bad for the Democratic Party because they didn't even choose her. So, of course she didn't win. They wanted Biden.
Okay. Well, I mean, actually, I think that we had polls on Democrats following Biden stepping down and Kamala Harris stepping up, which showed like more approval for Kamala Harris compared to Biden. And that decision was made in the first place because Biden had a lower approval rating. So shut the hell up, you're yapping. But I mean, not only did you pivot and deflect away from the question that I asked you, because I was very clear about my critique of the original position. Oh, so you agreed
your
with
question was, would I still vote for Trump over all the other vice presidents? Absolutely, I would.
Okay, so what makes
years,
Donald
yes, I
Trump
would.
an especially good president in your mind?
I don't think he's an especially good president.
So then
but
what does he do
makes
that's good, period?
What would have made Kamala such an exceptionally
Kamala
good
is how you
president?
pronounce her name.
What made Biden? You're a Biden supporter. What made Biden such an exceptionally good president?
Well, sure, I'll entertain.
What did he do in 4 years? What did he do in 4 years?
I'll entertain the deflection for 30 seconds, and I'm going to ask the same thing of you, and you won't have a response. Sure. What I really liked about Biden was his awesome domestic policy, such as the PACT Act that invested $800 million into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits, such as the CHIPS and Science Bill that invested $45 billion into U.S. chip producers and was able to bump our global supply from sub 1% to 30 in 4 years, such as the American Rescue Plan, which helped us rebound from COVID faster than any other country in the G7, or the Infrastructure Bill, which created jobs by an investment of nearly $1 trillion into our manufacturing to put more money into more people's pockets. So see, that's why I thought Biden wasn't half bad. Now about Kamala Harris, I'd like to finish answering your question. Let me finish answering your question. Now about Kamala Harris. Not only has she served in all 3 branches of government, served in the judiciary branch as working as an AGDA, an attorney. She served in the elective branch as a executive branch as a vice president, and in the legislative branch as a senator for 3 years. I'd say that's pretty important. She also passed more tie-breaking votes compared to any other vice president in American history. Pretty cool if you ask me. As well as she worked alongside Biden to pass all that great domestic policy I've already described. And then the policy that she ran on for the election was like phenomenal. I mean, let me tell you, she ran on tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class to make our lives easier. What did Trump run on? Oh, I don't know, killing 10 million of them by taking their health care away? Like, and a big fuck you to everybody else on Medicaid by raising their premiums by 75%, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, reducing the purchasing power of everybody making at or beneath $51,000 per year, which is over 200 million Americans. A fuck you die bill. I mean, I think that paints a pretty clear picture of who's better. Or, I mean, like, even about like law and crime. I mean, who do you want? A 34-count felon criminal that has passed 2 executive orders that have explicitly contradicted both the First and the 14th Amendment, that has also called for the abolition of the 22nd Amendment by saying he might run for a 3rd term, and just explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution as a whole in December of 2022 when he said we should just get rid of all of its articles, rules, and regulations. Compared to the attorney, I think the picture becomes clear. Should I stop there or should I keep on going? I didn't even mention about how Donald Trump boasted about perving on kids, or how he sexualized a 10-year-old, or like how he called his own daughter hot, or how he's like best buddies with Epstein and was sending him pictures of like naked women with the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." No, I didn't. I didn't bring up those things at all. I didn't. I'll stop there. I'll hold back.
Thanks for unmuting me. And since you're such a feminist, I really appreciate you calling me a fuckhead 7 seconds into my time. But you mentioned all the money that Biden made for this country. You didn't mention all the billions of dollars he gave to a dying war in Ukraine.
Giving money to Ukraine was such a good decision that Donald Trump resumed the funding on July 11th. Get pushed.
Oh, did you choke on your beverage?
Yeah, I was just laughing at how terrible of a point that was. He resumed the funding. Trump started giving them money again because it puts more international pressure on Russia to end the war.
And you also seem to care a lot about the personality of Trump. I don't think Biden's a great person. I don't think there's been many Democratic presidents that have been good people, cheated on their wives, probably done a lot of, tax fraud, all this other shit. Yeah. You don't seem to care about that.
Yeah, what's important to me is better people.
About Trump as a person. Why do you care about Trump as a person, but you don't care about Bill Clinton, you don't care about Monica Lewinsky, you don't care about all that shit, but you care about Trump? Why?
Well, actually, the Democrats literally impeached Clinton in the House.
You
don't actually want me to answer your question because I'm going to cook you.
I don't care who Trump is as a person. You seem to care who he is as a person. He's running this country. He's a businessman. This country needs a businessman. We're trillions of dollars in debt. You talk about the money you talked about all this money Biden brought in, but he also brought in millions and millions of illegal immigrants that the money just went right back to. Free healthcare, free apartments. He took elderly people out of nursing homes to put illegal immigrants in there instead. Okay, he's funding their healthcare. He gave them free phones, free debit cards. He's letting full-fledged men who have beards and they're 6'5" claim to be 13 years old. Okay, so please express to me all this money he brought in. Where the hell did it even go? Because we still have American citizens who fought in our war and our veterans who are still homeless. We still have American citizens who do not have health care. We still have people who are addicted to drugs who do not have mental health care. Have you been on the streets of Kensington, Philadelphia? Have you? American citizens, no health care, no therapy, no nothing. So where's all this money that good old Biden brought in? Where did it go to? Not the American citizens. No, they took the elderly people out of the nursing homes instead. That's where the money went to. They want to build assisted housing for the illegal immigrants to come in, but again, still have homeless people, still have elderly people who don't have anybody to take care of them. Express to me where the money went then. If you believe he brought so much money in, where did it go?
Yeah, we're going to go top to bottom. So 75% of the time that you are yapping, you just spend it talking about how you think the Biden-Harris administration was giving money to undocumented immigrants. If you knew your shit, then you know it's actually federally illegal to give federal funds to states or directly to fund undocumented immigrants. And undocumented immigrants don't qualify for any federal system of benefit like Medicare, like Medicaid, like Section 8, like food stamps, etc. So you're just yapping. I mean, some state funds do. Those aren't controlled by the federal government. And when it fall BS to Biden, as you would suggest. Now, to move back to your first point, because that's one I really wanted to respond to, especially as you then went on to talk about undocumented immigrants. You told me that you don't care if the person running the country from the Oval Office inside of the White House is a rapist felon. As long as he's making the country better, he's a man for the job. But then when you see undocumented immigrants pay $100 billion a year for taxes, contribute $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion per year to the GDP, work as entrepreneurs, business owners, account for 5% of our labor force, 8.3 million of our workers to not just stabilize, but make our industries flourish. Then you look at them and you say, guess what? You're poisoning the blood of the country. You're a fucking criminal and you need to get the hell out. All because of a simple misdemeanor? Come on, that is so unfair. Oh, rapist felon as president? Yes. No, like misdemeanor as applied to a civilian that is productively providing and contributing to our economy? No. It's just so ironic and honestly sad that I'm gonna expect like to take you seriously. Come on, how can you genuinely expect me to take you seriously if you just want to excommunicate 11 million people that are making this country better because of a misdemeanor, but then you turn around and you support a rapist felon as president? No, seriously, answer that question.
Well, for a Democrat, you have an awful lot of trust in the American justice system. There's never been anybody falsely convicted ever of anything. O.J. Simpson, it was known that he killed his wife, but he got away with it. So there's a lot of people who are serving death row sentences. They're going to get the death penalty, didn't even do what they were supposed to do, didn't have enough money for a good lawyer. Yeah. You don't think that maybe perhaps something was rigged? You know, when you serve in a jury, you're not supposed to know.
And as a
Excuse me,
Republican,
don't cut me off because you're going to put me on mute, but don't cut me off.
And as a Republican, you're very good at engaging in conspiracy theory.
I'm actually not a Republican. I'm still a registered Democrat, actually. So if you want to change my mind, you can't, but go ahead.
So as a MAGA, I'll call you, as somebody that's MAGA, you're very good at engaging in conspiracy theory. I mean, what you just described is conspiratorial logic, as I like to call it. So you just suggested that because sometimes the criminal justice system gets it wrong, that therefore they definitely got it wrong as it relates to Trump. So
I never said definitely, but they do.
So this is what I call a gap between possibility and probability, right? Because you're positing as something is possible, therefore it is more likely than not to be the case in any random given circumstance, right? And I'll describe to you how this relates to conspiracy theory. We could agree that our government sometimes lies. And because it's possible that our government lies, then we're going to jump to the conclusion that Bush did 9/11 and lied about it. No, that's conspiracy theory. We could agree that it's possible that NASA has gotten a couple things wrong. Okay, but then flat earthers take that possibility to suggest that therefore the earth is flat. No, we can't jump to that conclusion. So just because it's possible that the criminal justice system gets it wrong doesn't mean you could jump to the absurd conclusion that Donald Trump isn't actually a rapist, even though unanimous jury of 9 concluded that. And I'll even take this one step further, because the theme of your argument is seemingly wanting to conclude that our DOJ is so unreliable, we couldn't even reliably convict a billionaire, right? Now, if you think our DOJ is so unreliable, we could not reliably convict a billionaire, then how do you know that our courts are reliably determining who is and who is not an undocumented immigrant before we send them to CICA and El Salvador, before we deport them overseas to Uganda, before we deport them without due process to Venezuela?
I don't know. Maybe if they had some documentation, which they don't have. But to go back to what you're saying,
who proves if they do or don't? Who proves
if
they do or don't? How do we determine if they have? How do we determine if they have documentation?
I'm going to talk about what you said.
But you're not going to answer my question, because you know if you do, you'll be cooked.
I will. Yes, I will. If you give me a moment, I will. Because I like what you said. You said how we're going to jump to the conclusion because the justice system is wrong every now and then that, oh, maybe Trump didn't do it. But how come you always call him a rapist? You always call him a pedophile. You always call him names when the justice system has been wrong. So how come I can't sit here and say maybe the justice system was wrong, maybe it was rigged, maybe there was something against that, but you can sit there and call him names like that?
Oh, for sure. That's a great question. I'll explain it to you. It's because when I am trying to conclude any given point, I don't conclude that point off of 100% certainty. I conclude that point off of like reasonable certainty. And that's the way that we operate as rational actors inside of the world around us. I don't have 100% certainty that you're not a fucking AI robot paid for by Russia to come up here and annoy the shit out of me. Yet I'm treating you as if you are a real person that actually voted for Trump, because that is the more reasonable conclusion than not. I don't have 100% certainty that you're not just trolling right now and making it up as you go. But I'm acting as if you are not trolling and you are a real Trump supporter, thereby actually debating you, because it is reasonable to conclude that you're actually a Trump supporter. I don't have 100% certainty that I actually have 12,000 people on my TikTok live right now. It is possible that everybody like in the chat, every like account on the viewer list is just like a fucking bot paid for by like some crazy super fan. But I'm acting as if the people in the chat and watching live are real, because it's significantly more likely than not that they're real. Okay? So no, you can't just suggest to me that unless we have 100% certainty of something, we can't believe it, because that is literally how we interact and operate in the world around us 24/7. Okay, you don't have 100% certainty that you're going to wake up tomorrow, but I bet you've already made plans, picked out your outfit, or determined what you're going to eat for breakfast, right? It's because it's more likely than not you'll wake up tomorrow. That's my point.
And I absolutely agree with you. And my point was, you do not know with absolute certainty that he committed those acts 20, 30 years ago in civil court, by the way, not criminal court. You keep saying that he's a felon, blah, blah. It was civil court.
Do you think OJ is guilty?
I do think OJ is guilty, yes.
So you're claiming that you have absolute certainty of OJ's guilt?
No, I believe that. But
Oh,
you believe
so
Donald
you're
Trump.
telling me that you believe that he's
So-
guilty without absolute certainty. Get fucked. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind and feminist of you. Thank you. I've noticed that I'm like one of the only female guests as well, so that's really, really feminist of you. Yeah. So, anything else you'd like to say? Because I just wanted to say that since, with absolute certainty, I agree with you. You're absolutely right. But you talk about, the grape word. He's a grapist with such absolute certainty.
Well, you're not going to respond to
that's
the
a
point
bit
that I
wrong
made.
time.
You literally just
What was
conceded.
the point that you made? What was the point that I made? That I'm going to wake up tomorrow?
No,
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow?
it's what I said.
I might.
It's what I told before.
Will you? I don't
It's
know.
what I said before I told you to get fucked. Okay, and what I said was very clear.
That's very
I asked you if
kind.
you believe
Thank
that OJ is guilty. You said yes. I asked you if you believe that's a rational conclusion.
I
You
believe
said
that, yes.
Right.
And you
And then I
believe
went.
that
Then I went
Donald
on.
Trump is
Then I
a-
then I went on to ask you if you possess absolute certainty in that fact, and you said no, demonstrating
No,
that you don't need
and
to be
you don't
100%
possess
certain of a
absolute certainty like
conclusion.
Trump did.
Oh, so
No, you did not.
So now you're equivocating OJ's guilt to Trump's guilt. Yet you believe OJ's
No,
guilt, meaning you believe
did
Trump's
that.
guilt.
You did that, actually. You did that.
No, you're the
You
one
did
that literally.
You
You just said it. You just said it. Oh, I don't have absolute certainty of OJ's guilt, yet I believe he's guilty. Just like you don't have absolute certainty of Trump's guilt. You believe he's guilty. Oh, meaning that you think there's a similar standard of evidence to suggest that OJ is guilty, just as Trump is guilty. Meaning that because you believe that OJ is guilty, you thereby also believe that Trump is guilty. But because you don't believe that Trump is guilty, you're intentionally operating in a bad faith manner, denying reality to stay in your cult-like ways. Fucking hell, grow up. I don't know what to tell you. Turn your brain on for once. Then about the feminist points, listen, no, I told you to get fucked earlier. I called you a fuckhead. I'm not calling you a fuckhead because of what's in between
you
your
did.
legs or your gender identity. I'm calling you a fuckhead because of your propensity to engage in very harmful cult-like behaviors with
No,
an
you're the
absent
cult.
of reason,
You
fact,
guys
or
are the
logic
cult.
in a
That's
very
so funny
emotional manner. But once again, nothing of that has to do with the fact that you're a woman, right? In fact, we see these propensities much stronger within men, which would describe why every other guest in my life today has been a man.
Okay. To go back to your point, if I was to go back to the point of comparing OJ to Trump, which is what you did, right? I would not come up here and be like, OJ Simpson, the murderer, OJ Simpson, the wife beater. I would say OJ Simpson. You say Trump, the pedophile, Trump, the rapist, Trump, the felon, Trump, this.
It's because OJ Simpson is a dead civilian. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is an alive president. Whoa.
Yeah. And you don't think any other president, you just asked me about the vice presidents, right?
Yeah, I don't
You
think that Kamala Harris was.
President in history
Was
was
Kamala- back to the lesser of two evils.
America's back.
Back to the lesser of two evils. Was Kamala Harris a rapist that had boasted about perving on kids while they were dressing?
We don't know. We don't know. She's a DEI hire. We don't know. They keep everything under wraps.
Wait, what do
so
you
I
mean
don't know.
she's a DEI hire?
I don't know. Biden specifically said he wanted a black female as his vice president. Why would he say that if she wasn't a DEI hire?
Oh, okay.
Why
so-
wouldn't he want somebody that would run the country well, regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation? No, but he specifically said, "I want a black female."
Right.
Great, amazing.
Well, we know the way that like people on the right like to use the term DEI. You mean it you mean it interchangeably with underqualified, right? So like let's just entertain the logic real quick. If you're telling me that the underqualified DEI hire that was simply picked for the job because of no other fact than a race and gender is let's just assume that's true real quick. DI hire, underqualified, simply picked for the job because of her race and gender, not because of her qualifications, expertise, intelligence, etc. Well, then why is the underqualified DEI hire significantly better than the billionaire businessman? Like, think about it. I honestly think that this argument is self-refuting and just makes Trump even worse. Because the underqualified DEI hire had better policy than Trump. The underqualified DEI hire knew more about foreign relations than Trump. The underqualified DEI hire did know that the president has to hold to the Constitution, unlike Trump, who told an ABC News reporter that he didn't have a clue. The underqualified DEI hire didn't say that windmills cause cancer. That's something Trump said. The underqualified DEI hire, wasn't the one that had claimed that an election was rigged and tried to rig it themselves and then continued to peddle that lie for 4 years and convince 70% of Republicans of that lie. No, that was something that Trump did. The DEI hire is somebody that ran on policy to defund Medicaid by $1 trillion just to give billionaires an additional tax cut at the end of the year and kick 10 million low-income Americans off of it in the process. That's something Trump did. So I don't know, man. If Donald Trump is just significantly worse than an underqualified DEI hire, maybe he should stay in the retirement home.
I think you might be projecting a little bit because not once, and the chat can let me know, I didn't say underqualified not once. You did several times. I said DEI hire because the definition of DEI would put Kamala in there when Biden says, I want a black female, vice president, number one. Number two, I voted for Biden and Kamala in 2020. So therefore, I obviously did not think she was underqualified back then. Now, did I? That has nothing to do with anything. But when a president says, I want a black vice president to be my vice president, black female vice president, that's kind of giving DEI, don't you think? So I never said she was underqualified. That's not once came out of my mouth. That came out of your mouth.
So you think that she's a qualified DEI hire?
She might be. If she came out of the basement every now and then, maybe we could have found out. Yeah, she could have been.
Oh, well, I think that we did know because of the policy that she ran on. And the reason why I went off and I just absolutely, destroyed your position there is because of the way that the right uses DEI, right? The right uses DEI interchangeable with the N-word, right? The right uses DEI interchangeable with underqualified POS. The right uses DEI interchangeable with derogatory terminology to refer to the lack of experience, ability, or so on of an individual, okay? Like think about Karen, the mayor of LA, when we had the fires going on and it was a mess. Explain to me why Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Trump Jr., everybody on the right just turned around and said, "Oh, she's fucking DI because she's a black woman." No, that's what I mean, okay? And I think that's a very clear case of you trying to rhetorically suggest that Trump is somehow better than Kamala Harris by applying this term DEI to her with like no substance, knowing that it will peddle and communicate these implications such as underqualified, etc. When in all reality, this is just a guise for the fact that you have no real defense of Trump nor his presidency. You've been on this live for maybe 25 minutes. You haven't told me one good thing that Trump has done that you're a fan of because you want to stay so far away from that because you know how terrible he is. Like, it's cute. I mean, it's terrible. Like, take the mic away. Tell us one thing Trump has done that you're a fan of. Just one thing. One thing in his second term, last 200 days that you're a fan of. After I think a handful of donors. Just give me a second. Jenny, thank you for the $30 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Jenny. Let's get 200 Jenny W's down below. What's that?
Sorry.
As well as Leanna with a $5 over on Venmo. Thank you, Jenny and Leanna. And then Parker with the $5 as well. And Lauren with the $2 on Venmo. Guys, thank you so much. And then Omar for the $10 on Cash App for her imaginary talking points. Thank you for the love, Omar. That's incredibly kind of you. And then Jessica for the $10 over on PayPal. And you got it. I will read that to myself. Thank you so much for the love. And then Jade with the $25 on PayPal. Show some love to Jade. Jade says, thank you, Dean. But please be careful. They're coming for journalists they don't like the reporting from. Oh, yeah, they are. But it's okay. I'll be good. As well as Charlotte with the $5 and Leonelle with a $2. Guys, thank you so much for the love over on PayPal and Venmo if you want to support me. You can find my PayPal and Venmo in the link tree in my bio. Take it away.
So one thing I will mention that I like that Trump did was that he banned transgender women from playing in women's sports. And I actually, before you answer that, I would like to talk about the fires in California. I'm really glad that you mentioned that. I never once thought that...
You're pivoting away from my question.
No, I just said one of the things. You can respond to that in a moment, but since you like to talk a lot, I like to talk a lot as well. Let me go back to the California fires. I never thought that those were DEI hires, but there was a female. Did you ever see the California Fire Department, the LA Fire Department's commercial? There was a woman that said, if I can't lift a man up, he got himself in the wrong position. Do you really think that a woman who's a firefighter should be saying something like that? If a man was in a predicament, couldn't be carried out of the fire because it's a woman that has to take him out. Do you think that she should really be saying that as a firefighter? And yeah, to go back to what I support about Trump, what do you think about him banning transgender women from playing in women's sports? What do you think about that?
Right. So I'm guessing that I guess we'll go one topic at a time. Let's go with the first because this is what it wrap back around to. So I'm guessing that you think that trans women should not be competing in women's sports because you don't think that trans women are women. You think that they're men?
No, they are not women. They are biologically men. And in a sports,
So you think that? So you think that we should so first and foremost, we can't really talk about trans individuals on the live because of TikTok's COS. Just know that I think trans women are women. Just know that I think you're wrong. And I wish that we could have a more in-depth conversation about it, but you'll get banned, I'll get banned. It won't be fun. Right. But here's a way I'd like to take it. So in a nutshell, you disagree with that because you think that we should keep women's spaces and keep men out of them.
I think it is, in terms of athleticism, I do think it is been proven to be dangerous towards actual women because there is a physical disadvantage. And I believe in a world where we want to be feminist for the women. It's not very for the women. When a woman's face is getting broken in half.
What about like a man walking into a woman's changing room?
Go ahead. They do it all the time in their little pink dresses and pink lip gloss with the full-fledged beard. Go ahead, right?
Okay, now you're just wrapping this into like incredibly like insane transphobia. I'm gonna okay, how about this? Like I told you, we can't have a conversation about trans individuals on TikTok. You'll get banned, I'll get banned. You bring it up again, I'm going to kick you. And I'm gonna do so unapologetically. right? Because it infuriates me knowing that I cannot have that conversation with you. So if you just want to continue to snicker and be transphobic and be jarring and say harmful shit, right? Knowing that see, look at you. Look at what you just got. Yeah, look at what you just got. You just got that because of your bullshit. You just got a flag on your account after I told you not to. So why don't you have self-control? Why can't you like respect the rules? Why can't you have decorum? You just got a flag. Hey, real quick, unmute your fucking mic. You've already gotten the live a violation. The live is no longer sending out until I remove you from the live. Unmute your goddamn mic right now.
Okay.
Yeah, here's your president boasting about perving on naked underage teenage girls and naked grown adult women at Miss Teen USA, you bigoted POS.
Well, Biden sniffed over
conflict.
here, so yes.
I don't see it as a conflict. It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that. So you have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that like everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Yeah, so there you have it first, folks. Her fucking president, her Jesus 2.0, boasting about perving on naked underage teenage girls at Miss Teen USA, sexually exploiting them, and yet she still supports Donald Trump as president, running our country from the Oval Office. Oh, but don't worry, you guys. She's on the case. She's going to vote for a fascist that has boasted about perving on naked underage teenage girls, that's going to kick 10 million people off of healthcare, 3 million people off of food stamps, just to really bring the fist down hard on 10 trans women in the NCAA. Oh, yeah, just to bring the fist down hard on 0.8% of our population that has done no harm to you, that cannot change the fact that their gender identity is incongruent with their phenotypical sex traits, all because you are an ignorant, bigoted POS that understands absolutely nothing about what a trans woman means when they say they're a woman, or what a trans man means when they say you're a man, or when they say they're a man. Okay, you would prefer to support an actual sexual exploiter compared to not demonizing 0.8% of our population and just acting like a normal goddamn human being and treating others with the same respect that you think you yourself are deserved, right? You would rather support an actual man that is perved on naked teenage girls than not hold like some of the most bigoted views in history of mankind that just aid and abet in a system of oppression to make life harder for 10 people in the NCAA. And to that, I'm going to say good fucking day. I'm going to kick you off the live and move on to the next guest because, as I already said, you got the live a flag because you continued to talk about trans individuals after I told you that you could not, in accordance with TikTok's terms of service. Let's go and get that next guest connected to the live right now, everyone. We're going to go to get them up here right now. We got Forrest connected. Gavin, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. I really appreciate that. Gavin with the $5 says, I heard you're going to debate at CSU Boulder. Are you planning on going to any other campuses? Yeah, we're going to be going to a lot of campuses this year, as well as Madison with the $5 saying, keep it up. Thank you so much for the love, Madison. That is incredibly kind of you. And then William with a $1 too. And then Caleb with the $5 over on PayPal, and Jessica with a 10. Thank you guys so much. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. And what year were you born in?
2005.
And what time is it?
What do you mean, 2005?
No, what time is it?
May.
No, like time. Like what time is
Oh,
it?
for me, I'm in Europe. It's 3 a.m.
No worries, bro. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. We're going to move on to the next guest. You just got to be an American if you want to come up and have a debate. Moving on to Fisher. Here we go. As well as Annie. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. I really appreciate you for that love. Annie says, recovering addict with 18 months clean. Good job, Annie. Also a proud Philadelphian. I was literally one of the Kensington addicts that she mentioned alongside the homeless vets. She doesn't care. We all know that she doesn't. Wish they would just stop pretending that they do. No, for sure they don't fucking care. They don't fucking care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't... Low income, they don't care about you. If you're going through a hard time in your life, they don't care about you. If you're homeless, they don't care about you. And my evidence, Donald Trump is literally black bagging homeless people and sending them in the back of trucks to Lord knows where right now, and she's not saying a word. Thank you for the love, Annie. As well as Paul. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat as well. Let's get another 500 W's for Paul. Paul says, Dean, if you're so smart, then how come you didn't factor in my completely unrelated point, not related to the topic, that is based on flawed logic and false information? Average Mac guess. Paul, you stay cooking. You stay cooking on the dot, Paul. Show some love to Paul down below. What's up, Tony? Do you support Trump?
Do you think that me as a Mexican can...
I'm sorry. I have to remove you. Please go take your phone to your mom or your dad. Go take your phone to your mom or your dad. You should not be listening to this live. You know what, Tony? If you're still watching, here's what I want you to do. Swipe out of TikTok. Go load up some Minecraft or some of that YouTube Kids and enjoy your night, okay? Enjoy your night, Tony. All right. Welcome in, William. If you want to go ahead and unmute that mic for me, that'd be great.
Hello.
What's up, man? You MAGA?
So basically, do you support Trump?
No. Do you?
Hell no.
Base. Moving on, guys. Make sure we find ourselves in that queue that we are at least 18 years old. We are American and MAGA. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got Jada Myers loading up into the box right now. As well as Amani. Thank you for the $25 over on PayPal. Thank you, Amani. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much, Amani. Let's go ahead and load up that donation over on PayPal so I can make sure that I thank you. Amani with the 25 says, hey, Dean, have you heard of the new bill that has passed called the BBO, the Big Beautiful Obituary? Listen, man. Listen. 6 to 8 months, according to a handful of medical health professionals. But you know what? Who knows? They could be wrong. They could be wrong. They could be wrong. I don't know. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
20.
What year were you born in?
2004. Dean, I support you more than Trump, though. I love you.
Are you the guy that like comes up here every couple months and asks to see my toes or some shit?
No, I'm completely new. I just want to say I love you.
I guess there's a handful of people that do that. Then, hey, man. You have a good rest of your day. Rose, thank you for the $6 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love, Rose. Rose with the $6 says, thank you so much for using your platform to speak up about this. Thank you for the love, Rose. As well as if you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of all the proceeds over on those platforms that go straight to me. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Sure do.
And how old are you?
29.
And why do you support Trump?
Well, I don't really know.
Bro.
Why don't you?
Do better. Do better.
Why don't you?
Kick 10 million people off of healthcare. It's pretty bad.
Okay. That's it?
That's more than you had, my friend. That should be enough. If you have 0 reasons to support him and 10 million reasons to not support him, which way do you think you lean?
You listed one. I didn't know there was 9,999,999 more.
Yeah, each person that got kicked off of healthcare. 0 reasons to support him, 10 million reasons to not support him. Which way are you going to lean?
Support him.
Okay, why?
I think he's doing a lot of good for our country.
So you do know why you support him. That the reason why you support him there would be because you think he's doing good. So what is the good that he's doing?
I think this country needs to be run like a business. I think he's doing a great job of that.
Oh, well, if he's running us like a business, he's failing. Long-term unemployment is at an all-time high since 2017. The GDP went down this first year. Projected GDP growth this year is 1.4% compared to 2.5% last year. Not to mention that 52% of companies in the S&P 500 reported lower profit margins in Q1 and Q2 compared to Q1 because of his tariff. So if this company was a business and he was a CEO, he'd probably be fired by now, my friend.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to use the money if he sends out a stimulus, or are you going to send it back?
What?
Just curious.
If the government gave me money, I don't even know if I could send that back.
Okay.
Why are you being freaky?
I'm not being freaky at all. Just trying to learn something. This is the first time I've seen you on live, and I was just scrolling through.
Your reposts are weird, man. I'm gonna go ahead and kick you. That guy's reposts were weird, dude. That guy's reposts were weird, bro. Let's gotta just move on to the next guest, guys. Dude, one of his reposts was like an animation of Rose toys inside of a canal. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, that was just weird. Weirdo, man. What's up, Juju? You support Trump?
Oh, I do, man. I do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
All right, man. Why do you support Trump?
I think tariffs are a good idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, why is that?
I think it's supports American business. I think we gotta move a lot more manufacturing over to here to avoid tariffs and to get more jobs here.
Yeah, it really hurts American businesses, especially small businesses. They don't have the billions of dollars to spend on building the infrastructure to produce the raw materials they need to make their goods, so they outsource them to overseas. Now those raw materials are more expensive and small businesses are going under.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it leads to independence, though, and I think that's a good thing.
Our country has been built via an intricate web of relationships, trade, and soft dependence on other countries since our country's conception. Total isolation and dependence and independence away from every other country on Earth. Point number one, significantly reduces competition in our economy, which means it will significantly reduce innovation in our market, meaning that America will soon be dwarfed by larger superpowers with more innovation, with better goods, and so on.
I mean, I also support stricter immigration. I don't think that illegal immigrants are good.
Okay, why do you have a repo saying that you think that the N-word completes you as a person?
Yeah, that was when I was like 12, bro.
Wait, whoa. Then you're 13, because that was last year.
I got a dip.
Okay. Goodbye. Dude, he's like, oh man, that's from when I was 12. It was in August of last year. It was in August of last year. Bro. Okay. All right, listen. Listen, you guys. Listen. Oh, real quick. Ari Bell, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Ari Bell with the $15 as my monthly Dean subscription. Thank you for always defending the LGBTQ plus community. I've been watching your live since you would debate why there was nothing wrong with being LGBTQ plus. Thank you, Super Big, for also teaching me so much. I appreciate your work more than you'll ever know. Ari Bell, dude, you've been watching me for like 2 years then. Yeah, we haven't ran those lives forever because TikTok just won't let us anymore. I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for the $15. You're awesome. As well as everybody else hanging out with us on TikTok. I'm going to keep it real with you guys real quick. I don't know how many flags we've gotten today. I don't know if we get another flag, the account will be banned and we'll lose multi-guest access. So I think we should hit a restart. You know, like I usually like keep track of the flags so I know what's going on. Today, I just don't know anymore. I've just kind of been letting them fly. So we're going to hit a quick restart. If you want to come back after the restart, because we got to protect the account, hit that follow button. As well as when the stream ends, you will see my profile picture pop up in the middle of the phone screen. I'll just show you right now. Why not? This is what it will look like when the live ends. I want you to, when you see this when the live ends, click on that profile picture in the middle of the phone screen or not, right there. Once you click on that profile picture, you'll be directed to my account page. Count to 10, swipe down. Oop, swipe down on the videos. My account page will refresh, and then click on the profile picture again, and then you'll be in the new live. We're going to go and do that now. I like to aim for like a 70 to 80% audience retention rate. So it'd be really cool if like maybe 8,000 of you guys came back. Hopefully you do. We'll be doing debates for another hour, and I'll see you soon. For everybody on YouTube, how are you doing today? Oh, by the way, on YouTube, Kins, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat. Appreciate that, Kins. It's very, very kind of you. Kins with a $10 says, women's bodies should not run like a business. My body, my choice. For real, and our government is controlling women's bodies. Good point. All right, we're already back and running on TikTok. We have around another 30 or 40 minutes. Let me take a look at the YouTube stream. Yeah, another 30 minutes. Welcome back in, everybody. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hope your day is going well. Hope it's going
Breaking
well,
news,
everybody.
Donald Trump has infringed upon
breaking
your
news.
constitutional rights again.
That's what he did. There's my TikTok. Okay. All right. For everybody joining us, thank you so much for being here. Make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends. You already know it. It helps us boost this live out more into that algorithm. And we're trying to get in that algorithm. Hell yeah. And by the way, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of all the proceeds over on those platforms. But let's go ahead and hop right back into those debates. Hop in that queue of your MAGA. We'll get you pulled up here. Me and my new mug, guys. Check out that new mug, everybody. Look at that. Isn't that great? It's been keeping my water icy for 4 hours. And I only put like a couple cubes in it. So, I mean, I'm enjoying this, chat. I'm enjoying the new mug. Very nice. It's so tiny. It's like a smaller little mug. I like it. I like it. What's up, Joey? Do you support Trump? Joey, hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Joey, do you support Trump?
I sure do, actually. Thank you so much for asking, Dean.
Yeah, goodbye. I mean, good impression, but we're looking for some real conversations, okay? Yo, Rose, thank you for the $3 on PayPal saying that Charlie Kirk is scared of debating you. So real, bro. Guys, we're just looking to talk to American adults. Only up in that queue if you are actually MAGA. Only up in that queue if you're actually MAGA. Don't break the fucking rules. Have some respect. All right, we're going to go to load this next guest up. Mr. Jason, he's been spamming W Trump in that comment section for quite a while. Hi, Jason. Are you 14?
No.
How old are you? What's that?
20.
I'm not going to believe that for a second, my friend. Moving on. All right, who's next? Jaden Myers. Here we go. We got Jaden Myers. Jaden Myers connecting. Hi, Jaden Myers. Do you support Trump?
No, I don't, but I want to say that.
Banned. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Moving on. Jamie, thank you for the $3 over on Venmo. What does Jamie say? Let's see what Jamie says. Happy to live in the same state as you. Bro, let's go. Colorado's awesome. As well as Joseph with a 5 saying, been watching you for a while. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you, Joseph. What's up, Jay? Do you support Trump?
Well, Dean, I just want to ask you, who do you...
Sorry, man. That wasn't a yes, so I kicked you. Moving on. Guys, let's keep it to just the Trump supporters or else you're going to get banned. Like, do you see what's happening to all the people here? They're all getting banned. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Okay, I just want to wait. Can you hear me?
See, I'm telling you, man. They just all get banned. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. They all get banned. They all get banned. Come on, guys. You're driving me crazy. Let's go move on to the next guest, Adri. They were spamming Trump down below. What's going on, Adri? Do you support Trump?
I do.
Oh, no. God damn it, Adri. Why?
Well, I feel like he does a lot for mostly the state. Living in California, it's just very difficult. And ever since he was president, my opinion, it's just gotten a lot better.
California's gotten better since he's been president?
Yes. Yes, and surprisingly,
what's improved?
There's actually a lot more Republicans than people actually are thinking. So
Wait. So what's improved in the last 3 months in Cali?
a lot more Republicans, like I stated, have been coming out and supporting.
Okay. Well, that's going to be like the natural byproduct of whoever's in charge. If there's a Republican charge, Republicans are going to be louder about their opinions. If there's a Democrat in charge, Democrats are going to be louder about their opinions. Okay, this doesn't tell me anything about like why he's a good president. This just simply tells me that because he's president, his supporters are coming out of the woodworks.
right? And also because of, I have to say, Gavin Newsom. He's just horrible. And Trump is really just doing all he can to honestly just downright get Gavin Newsom in his place.
Dude, I think that Newsom's been putting Trump in his place. Holy shit.
Nah.
Newsom is like a
Nah.
front runner for the next presidential election right now because of
Hell
his
no.
beautiful mocking of Trump on Twitter. Listen, man.
Hell no.
Listen, man. I'm like historically not a big Newsom supporter, but ever since Newsom started going for the going for the neck at Trump on Twitter, I'm like, damn, bro, like there's no other Democrats fighting like Newsom right now. But like in all reality, the alternative to Trump wasn't Newsom. Okay, it was Kamala Harris.
Oh, heck no.
So why do you think?
No.
So why do you think Kamala Harris was worse than Trump?
Well, one, she just overdid it with her campaign all around.
She
Just
overdid it with her campaign.
bad. Just bad.
Okay, so
Too much.
so
She
Kamala
did
Harris,
too much.
Kamala Harris was just
She did
bad
too-
and
she
too
did
much.
too much.
So what's worse?
too much.
Being too much or being a literal rapist?
Okay, here's a question for you. If you can answer this question,
Okay,
because
okay.
every time I ask this question, I never got an answer. In what way is Trump a rapist?
I don't have an answer.
As usual.
I'm just kidding. He was actually held
I
liable
figured.
by anonymous civil court in 2023.
I figured.
9 jurors determined that he was guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll. He was then held liable for it.
In what way? Where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence? Well, the evidence would be
Yeah.
inside of the court documents as submitted during discovery. In what way? I'm not sure what that question even means.
I mean, there's got to be a way he raped. I mean, some proof of that.
Right.
and
Yeah,
some
there's
kind
enough
of-
there's enough proof to convince the anonymous jury of 9. Are you asking what that proof is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Just kidding, I do. So we had a therapist notes from the 90s indicating that Donald Trump did rape E. Jean Carroll in 1996. We also had an alignment between said notes, her testimony, and the testimony of 7 of her friends. We also had inconsistencies within Donald Trump's own testimony. He testified to the fact that he had never met her before. She responded to that with a picture of them together. He testified to the fact that he just didn't find her to be his type, meaning he'd never do anything to her. But then he confused a picture of his ex-wife as a picture of her. We know that his ex-wife was his type, so there's that. We also had the fact that E. Jean Carroll, the victim, tried to submit a dress to the court that she was wearing when she was raped by Donald Trump, and she claimed that it had his DNA on it. The court then accepted the dress, got it DNA tested, proved it had unknown male DNA on it. The judge then went to Trump, and to Trump, he was like, hey, give us your DNA so we could see if this is your DNA on the dress that she gave us. He was like, no, we're actually not going to do that. No, 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 no. And there's even like more evidence of his guilt. I feel like a guilty man would do exactly that, and an innocent man would do the opposite. And then we also have like other like secondary and like tertiary facts that kind of set us up for the conclusion that Trump would likely do something like this, such as the fact that he's boasted about perving on kids when they're naked. That's something a rapist would do. He's like sexualized a 10-year-old girl. That's something a rapist would do. He was best buddies with Epstein. That's something a rapist would do. He was sending Epstein letters with pictures of naked women with the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." That's something a rapist would do, and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see.
Everyone in my chat is spamming second repost.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. Should we watch it together? Should we watch your second repost together? See what they're talking about.
I suppose. I mean, if it really matters.
Well, Kelsey, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and there's a lot of liberal men around here. So where I would say you could probably find the best liberal men are either at a gay bar, at your local protest is another good spot. You may be able to find them wearing a dress in the women's restroom or in the women's section of Target. But what I find is many of these liberal men are also looking for liberal men. So that may be a problem for you. So you may be looking for a woman, but some places to definitely steer clear of are anywhere that's going to have high testosterone, like a sporting event, a football game, gun range. Don't go there. Or Home Depot, Lowe's, again, definitely not the place you're going to be looking for your liberal men. So best of luck in your endeavors. Wish you nothing but the best. See ya.
I mean, I have a lot of takeaways from that video. like the
I
biggest
remember that
biggest
video.
question that comes to my head. I guess one of the biggest questions. Have you ever seen Donald Trump at a sporting event, a Home Depot, or a gun range?
I've seen him at a sporting event. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then anyways, in response to the first part of that, which is, the more serious part. So you're basically like liberal men are gay?
If you really watch the video and get to understand what she was talking about, I was just I reposted that in agreement to her stating, the fact that somebody was asking where to find a liberal man,
And
a
they like
liberal man,
testosterone.
or liberal men.
So do you think that gay men have lower testosterone than straight men?
I do.
Okay. Why?
Honestly, I mean, it's proven.
Okay.
How do they not? I mean, how do they not?
Well, you would have to be the one to suggest evidence for the claim because you're positing the affirmative. So it's proven by whom?
Every person that is like that, honestly, they're very guys like that are very flamboyant.
Okay, what is flamboyant in this context?
Most of the time,
What is
most of the time
flamboyant in this
they
context?
even are like transgender and they turn around and take estrogen that women are supposed to be taking. So I mean, how is that not proof?
So there's no relationship between being gay and being trans outside of the fact that they're both classified into the LGBTQ plus community, since both gay and trans people are persecuted and oppressed because of varying traits that they can't change, that they didn't choose, that don't harm them. In fact, you're doing it right now. You're lumping them together, so that's the reason why the community formed together. Right? And now back on gay individuals. So no, gay individuals don't have lower levels of testosterone than straight individuals. This was a big lie peddled in homophobic medicine in
We're
the
in the
60s.
same community.
I'm trying to offer you a little bit of knowledge. Maybe that's where all the liberal men are in school. Obviously, you've never been there, so that's why you're asking.
Honestly, like I said, I
all the
reposted
liberal
that
men are in school, but you've never been there, so that's why you reposted a video trying to find them, because you just have no fucking clue where they are. You've never been there, so you wouldn't know. But I'll go ahead and continue, please. So no, gay men don't have lower levels of testosterone on average compared to straight men. This was peddled in misogynistic medicine in the 60s and 70s. This was the same time when doctors were trying to posit that, maybe being gay is caused by lower levels of testosterone. Maybe being gay is caused by, chemical imbalances. Maybe being gay is a choice and we need to fix it through conversion therapy. But of course, we've dismissed and debunked all of those homophobic myths with more recent science, in which would demonstrate that there's no observable difference within the testosterone or chemical imbalance levels when comparing straight and gay men. And rather, being gay and being straight are hard-coded us into such a way that it has to do with associations on our genome or varying traits of our neuronic function, like the size and diameter of our anterior commissure. Or varying traits of the AI NH3 subsection of our hypothalamus. But no, gay men don't have lower levels of testosterone compared to straight men. That's just like more like signaling that like gay men aren't men, right? Because you want to try to get them as close to women as possible, lower levels of testosterone, more quote unquote flamboyant. And it's funny because in the same breath that you try to strip gay men of their manhood, you then turn around and you tell me that trans men will never be men, because they don't possess a penis, and a penis is what determines you to be a man.
I did not say that. All I did was repost a video in agreement. It was just reposting an answer. That was it.
So you're not going to respond to anything I just said? You weren't listening to anything I just said?
No, because honestly, this video...
Great, moving on. Let's going to get that next guest connected into the live stream. I actually just got a flag for talking about gay individuals. I just want that to be clear. I can't talk about gay people. I can't talk about trans people. And when I do, I get consequences for it. So I really wish that TikTok would fix that. It is so outrageous. It is just so insane. It is just so insane. Moving on to the next guest. Yeah, a lot of people. So the TikTok just got age restricted. Yeah, there's now a bunch of people going over to the YouTube that get kicked out of the TikTok because it got restricted for like a billion people. Age restricted, restrictions in particular areas, countries. Like now people like under a certain age from particular areas and from particular countries no longer have the ability to see this live because I said being gay is not wrong. Jenny, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that, love. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Jenny. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jenny. As well as Katie with the $2 and Darlene with the $2. Please show some love to our donors. As well as Annie with the $20 over on Super Chat saying, wait, that last guess has Turner syndrome. That's literally an intersex condition. Did it say that in her account, Annie? If so, right, I'm surprised that she didn't know these things. But thank you for the $20, Annie. As well as Bill, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube. Thank you for the love, Bill. You are awesome. Show some love to Bill down below, guys. Let's get 500 Bill W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much. As well as 500 Stephanie W's for the $50 on Super Chat. Thank you, Stephanie. Saying, what a disgusting, bigoted maggot. See you next Tuesday. Well, I appreciate you for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Last guess wasn't too nice. Well, I appreciate you for the love. I appreciate you guys so much for the love and your donations. You guys have been so kind today. Oh, as well as David. David, man, holy shit. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. David with a 50 bomb says, you rock, man. No, you rock, David. Let's get 500 David W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, David. As well as Bird with a 5. Amanda with a 3. Joseph with a 5. And Jamie with a 3. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for the love. And seriously, you guys, I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and move on to that next guess. Let's see what that next... Well, actually, this next guess will be the last guess of the night. Then I'm going to go ahead and hop off, everyone. So let's try to get that last guess up here. Let's get that last guess up here, everyone. Oh, excuse me. I got the hiccups. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's get Brian up here. Why is somebody self-promoing their account in my YouTube? What's up? Do you support Trump?
I just have one question.
Banned! Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Okay, we'll try. We'll try for one more guess. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Do you have to be 18?
Yeah, that implies that you're not 18, so I'm going to kick you. Veronica, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Veronica, thank you. Let's see what Veronica said. Thank you for the love, Veronica. Veronica with the $20 on Venmo said, so happy to see you on so late. I got to listen to you debate for my evening walk. That's awesome, Veronica. Yeah, the reason why we're on so late today is because my internet was out for half the day. I was actually going to go live really early, but then I lost my internet for half the day. As well as Mag with a money gun, thank you. What's going on, man? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
19. I'm in
And
college right now.
why do you support Trump?
Mainly, I'm worried about either Samuel Alito or Clarence Thomas kicking the bucket. They're both in their mid to late 70s. You know, they look really old. Stress is getting to them. And I want another Supreme Court pick, so Roe v. Wade can't be put back in place.
Jesus Christ, bro. Well, if Kamala Harris had won, she could have passed federal protections through Congress. And number two, if both of them died and Kamala Harris had won and appointed 2 Democratic picks, conservatives would still have a majority. So, like, not only is that like wrong, because I think that abortion should be federally protected, but even if Kamala Harris became president and those 2 justices didn't die, it's likely we would have seen federal protections. And if she became president and they did die, the conservatives still would have had a majority.
But how would there have been federal protections if the majority of the population, at least the voting population in the United States, wouldn't be willing to codify abortion?
Do you mean, I think what you mean to say is like majority of like the Congress, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Who represent the people in the states.
An assumption that if Kamala Harris won would also be a majority of Congress would be blue, right? Obviously.
I don't know if that's obvious.
Right. Then you also had like midterms in 2026 as well.
Sure. Midterms, I could see there being a blue, I wouldn't call it a blue wave, but I could see there being some resurgence. I will say, I like the Don, okay? But some of the Republican Party does not. So it's
So why do
really
you
a
like
fight
why do you
against
like
them.
Donald?
My main thing, honestly, is he's kind of, I would consider him against the mold for conservatives. Obviously, it doesn't feel that way anymore, but early 2000s conservatives were primarily like neoconservatives and stuff.
Yeah, but now they just like belligerently violate the Constitution, don't really care about like president, and now we have like conservative MAGA congresswomen running, like I forget her last name, but Victoria, running on literally posting videos of like burning the Quran because of how much Donald Trump has like radicalized MAGA into being crazy, right? Like I obviously think that this is going to be a bad turn for the conservatives.
I'm not a big burning Quran stuff, but otherwise, like,
Right, I'm just saying that Trump has been a bad
the
turn for the GOP.
Constitution, not really. The GOP was on a downhill. Trump provided a revitalization for the party. People were tired already of.
So would you like,
the,
dude, like seriously? I mean, do we see like Republican presidents just like belligerently violating the Constitution because they wanted to play dictator?
The issue with saying violation of the Constitution is that I get what you're saying, but I have like an Anton Scalia, whatever. So I don't really. Do you know Anton Scalia?
No.
He was around at the same time as RBG. He was a constitutional originalist. He was a Supreme Court justice. And he believed basically it should be the first 10 amendments and the Constitution. So everything that comes with that. And then
just get rid of like
everything after that should just be it should just have to be codified through Congress.
So you wait. So like in actuality, if Donald Trump re-legalized slavery, you wouldn't care.
It wouldn't be a re-legalization of slavery.
Just like violated the 12th, 13th, the 13th, 14th, and 15th.
No, because you can't violate because the majority
resegregating schools, reintroducing slavery, taking away women's rights to vote.
No,
you okay with that?
Okay. No, do you not think that the majority of those things should be codified in Congress? Do you not think that Congress would codify, banning slavery?
Well, remember the context of our conversation is that you don't care that he, like, for instance, violated the 14th Amendment when he tried to take birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants, because you don't care about any amendment after the 10th, right? So this, like, if your explanation that you don't care about any amendments after the 10th, therefore you don't care about his violation of the 14th would follow. This just means that you wouldn't like care about a hypothetical violation of the 13th, 14th, and 15th by reintroducing slavery, reintroducing racial segregation in school, taking away women's right to vote, and so on.
No. Okay, you're separating the two things. I don't have a problem with his violation of the 14th because I don't have a problem with the moral value espoused in it. I would have a problem with the moral value of, legalizing slavery or allowing any of those things, but I wouldn't have a
Wait, I have a question. If Donald Trump became, in your mind, a benevolent dictator tomorrow, would you still support him?
Probably not.
Wait, why? Because I thought that you didn't care about violations of checks and balances, given that it was benevolent.
That's not how that works. But
that's the argument. You just told me that you didn't care about his violations of the 14th because you don't really care about the moral value espoused in granting birthright citizenship to the children of undocumented immigrants. Well, if like seemingly every action taken by Trump was benevolent and he like sought a dictatorship, you wouldn't have an issue with this either, given an erosion of checks and balances and a consolidation of power to just himself. And if you would take an issue with the erosions of checks and balances and consolidation of power just to himself, taking the power vested in the Constitution, Congress, etc., given that it was benevolent, then you would have no argument that you don't care about his violations of the 14th, given that you don't think that there's moral value espoused in granting on the children of undocumented immigrants birthright citizenship.
That's a false dichotomy.
It's not a dichotomy, it's an analogy.
Oh. Yeah, it is a dichotomy. You're giving me two choices.
No, I didn't give you
the
two
choices. You're saying,
I said
the choices you're saying
are would logically imply, I said that X would logically imply Y. I didn't say X or Y or X and Y. I said that X would logically imply Y.
Okay, sure. Okay, I see what you're saying. So I would be okay with a major shift in the fundamental government of the United States. I wouldn't be okay with that being a shift to a dictatorship or a totalitarian government, is what I'm saying.
Wait, why? If it was benevolent, why would you care about said erosion of checks and balances?
Because violation of checks and balances, in order to have a good goal, which would be a government more reflective of the people and of, you know, personal moral values that I hold, is different than violating the rules of government so that there can be a benevolent dictatorship or something. Like, I would be pro, like, you know, revising of the Constitution and pro whatever, but I wouldn't be pro, like, God, Emperor Trump. I'm not like one of those people. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that if we're going to change the Constitution, we should do it legally. Do you agree?
I think yes-ish.
Would this make
My
the
issue with
implication
you
that we
saying
shouldn't do it
legally is
legally?
that no, because my issue with you saying legally is that it implies that the right to revolt that was initially provided to the that was initially provided in, like, Lockean society is no longer there, which kind of undermines the whole thing.
Okay, so it seems that you're now suggesting that, like, if we would suggest that we should only, like, change or amend the Constitution legally, that this would outrule, like, particular revolts that led to some greater goal that is good. Okay, I could agree that some revolts are going to lead to a greater good goal, and which would justify the revolt. Like, seemingly, right, if, like, a revolt was required to, like, federally ban slavery, then I'd support said revolt. However, I don't think that any...
Like John Brown, right?
However, I don't
John
think
Brown.
that any greater good would be accomplished via revolt against the 14th Amendment, particularly the first section about birthright citizenship. In fact, I just think that it's going to cause more harm.
I get what you're saying. My thing is that if you do that, there will be a... Because otherwise, right, birthright citizenship will set up a, you know, demographics imbalance, and people will be less likely to be, you know, fundamentally conservative and have fundamentally conservative values, and then they won't be in favor of what I'm saying.
Are you just saying that, like, you support him violating the Constitution because then less people will vote like you?
No, because then more
Come on,
people.
that is a wait.
Because
more people
those
will vote like
people.
you? I'm confused.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, what I'm saying is, by undermining birthright citizenship, he's shifting the demographics in favor of us.
Right. So
In favor of
by
our team, yeah.
allowing birthright citizenship to apply to the children of undocumented immigrants, you're saying that more people. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. Less people would
By
vote.
allowing that.
So you support
less
him
people would
violating the
vote.
Constitution because if he didn't, then less people would vote like you.
Basically, yeah.
Do you know about Trump's fake?
It's just my
elector fraud in
moral
2020?
values. Yeah.
Dude, do we understand how your
Well, I
moral values
wasn't-
would imply that the
okay.
fake electors plot was justified? Because if he didn't violate federal law and attempt to rig the outcome of the election, then less people would have voted like you.
The issue
If he was
is that that's a
successful with a fake
fundamentally
electors plot, then
dishonest
more
action.
people would have voted like you.
No, because it's an immoral action. It's a dishonest action. What I'm saying is that it would be the demographics would be shifted in a way
I'm
that
saying,
the country would vote
I'm
for
saying
what
that the
I'm
fake
saying.
electors plot of 2020 would be justified in your mind because although Donald Trump attempted to rig the election, it just ensured that more people would have voted like you.
No, because that's not the be-all, end-all. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, if the be-all, end-all isn't more people voting like you, well, then why did you use that as a be and end-all to justify a violation of our Constitution, but you wouldn't use that be-all, end-all to justify an infringement upon our civil and electoral practices insofar as rigging the outcome of a presidential election? So why do you think
Because
you can
the
violate the Constitution
justification-
to get more people to vote like you, but you can't rig an election to get more people to vote like you?
Because one is an inherently dishonest action.
Wait, you want to?
It's dishonest to lie about
wait,
the
wait.
election being stolen. The election wasn't stolen.
No, we're not talking about the lie about the election being stolen. We're talking about the fake electors plot to steal it back. We're talking about when Donald Trump sent the fake slates of electors to install votes for himself in Congress to ensure that he
Yeah, that
won
was a
second term,
dishonest
even though people didn't
action.
vote for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so
the
if
people didn't vote for him.
So if he was honest about trying to steal the election, then you would have been okay with it if it ensured that more people would vote like you?
No, because again, it wouldn't be at the behest of the people. It would just be at the behest of him.
Okay. So you think it's okay to violate the Constitution or to do things
Because
if
he's
it's at the behest of
violating the
people?
Constitution.
So how do you know?
I'm saying he's
so how do you
he's
know that his
violating the
violation of the 14th
Constitution.
Amendment was at the behest of the people?
because it came after the result of the election, and because one of the major things in the election was immigration, and that violation is for stricter immigration policy, which is one of the things he ran on, then it's the behest of the people.
Okay.
Versus the elector plot, nobody voted on him being, overturning whatever electors.
So if Kamala Harris ran on taking all of your guns away and she somehow won and then like passed an executive order that explicitly violated the Second Amendment and took away your right to own every single gun, you would support it because it was at behest of the people?
No, because I would disagree with it personally. I would disagree with it personally.
But you'd have no reason. You'd have no reason to disagree with the action because you think it'd be at the behest of the people.
Literally, yeah.
So you just believe in like true democracy?
Yeah.
Okay, I think
is that unreasonable?
I do think
or true democracy up until the first 10 amendments.
I think that true democracy is unreasonable.
You have certain fundamental human rights.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you have like fundamental rights as codified through the Constitution. But see, the last argument completely outruled upholding certain fundamental rights is you treated the end all be all as the behest of the people.
No, because what you're saying is that the natural rights extend past the 10th Amendment. I'm saying like the 11th is like lawsuits between states. That's not natural.
Wait, you don't think that the equal protections
that somebody is owed?
Wait, you don't think that people are owed equal protections?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent they are, right?
So then you think that the 14th covers natural rights?
No.
Yes, because the Equal Protections Clause is the third section of the 14th.
No, but okay. So birthright citizenship is essentially...
That's the first section of the 14th. I was just talking about the third.
Oh.
Equal Protections Clause of the 14th. Guarantees that you
can't... I only study the first 10. Okay. Anton Scalia.
I'm simply demonstrating that there's natural rights beyond the 10th, right? A good example of this would be the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th.
Okay, but I wouldn't necessarily agree that that's a right.
What? You don't think that people have a right to not be like unjustly discriminated?
Well,
I mean, like I feel like this would
by government or by other
by government, by people. I mean, obviously we're talking in the context of the Constitution, so this would be government. Sure, I think that people have a natural right to not be unjustly discriminated on by a body of authority. Yeah, obviously I think people have a natural right to that.
I'm kind of 50-50. I don't really know how I would define... Wait, okay. Because natural rights are endowed by a creator. Civil government is independent of that.
I mean,
so civil government has to operate...
where rights come from. I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, wait. Where do you assume rights come from? Because we're going to get caught on that anyways.
I think that they're born out of nature, but that should be irrelevant to our conversation.
What do you mean born out of nature?
You're not familiar with like negative right theories born out of nature? Like moral intuitionism,
no.
like rational.
Moral intuitionism.
Yeah, I'm an intuitionist. I think that our moral faculties are rational. I think that they are well guided. I think that we could derive rational conclusions from moral faculties. But this is like completely off base of the argument.
Okay.
Because remember, we're talking about if natural rights would extend beyond the 10th Amendment, right? So ignoring metaethics and where rights come from, we could have a conversation specifically about if natural rights extend beyond the 10th.
Oh wait.
Right, I believe that they do, and a good case for this would be the Equal Protections Clause under the 14th Amendment, in which would guarantee that you cannot be unjustly discriminated.
You're hating, but I love metaethics. That's what inspires both of our moral values. That's what inspires our choices. That's the whole point.
Metaethics are not...
If we can't agree on metaethics, then we can't agree on the whole thing.
Metaethics are irrelevant when we're having a normative conversation, right? When we're discussing like if X is or is not a natural right. Right, we're just simply discussing normativity. We're not discussing metaethics.
I see why you're an Andrew Wilson hater. Okay.
Yes, this is actually what. Yes, the first thing I just thought of in my head when you said metaethics are completely relevant to our discussion is about my fucking hate for Andrew Wilson. You are absolutely correct.
Okay. Well, okay. In fairness, Andrew Wilson, I will say, he swears too much and he's a little too loud.
Dude,
and the cigarettes are bad.
Come on, just talk to me, okay? Is
anyways,
the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th a natural right?
Oh, sorry. No, I wouldn't say so. Even from your perspective, if it's born out of evolution, wait.
Come on, my friend.
Even from your perspective, Even from your perspective, if it's born out of evolutionary instinct, which would end in moral intuition, then that would include racism, right? Are you saying that racism would be it's your right to be a racist because that's your evolutionary whatever thing?
Okay, well, first and foremost, you assume that I think moral intuitionism is purely derivative of evolution. And second, you forget that not all moral intuitions are reliable in every circumstance. And when they are unreliable, we have a very clear reason why. And I could like run a drill down on you insofar as the clear reason why we'd have to believe that moral intuitions of racism are unreliable, due to a lack of coherence between other moral intuitions, maybe like everybody deserves equal treatment, or we want humanity to flourish. And when we would have like contradictory moral intuitions, and you have an unreliable intuition,
But those things,
and so on and so forth. But like this is once again completely off base because we're supposed to be having a conversation on if natural rights extend beyond the 10th Amendment.
yeah, and I'm saying they don't.
I guess we'll never know because I'm going to kick you. All right. Everybody in the chat was spamming next, and it didn't really seem like too productive of a dialogue. Felicity, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. Flick, thank you for the $50. I appreciate you for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. Flick with a $50 says, "Hey, Dean, my name is Flick. I'm a non-binary person from the UK. I love what you do. Please keep it up. I wish we had more voices like yours during uncertain times. Much love." Thank you for the love, Flick. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Flick. Let's get 500 Flick W's down below, and I appreciate you for your kindness, very seriously. As well as James with the 3 pennies over on PayPal. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second here. Declan with the 30 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. And I appreciate your words. Thank you for being here. And I'm so sorry you got to deal with this shit that we see from our government. Just thank you, Declan. Now, hey, for everybody watching, it is nearly 8 p.m. my time. I still got to go and take a pretty mean protein shake, get some food, and wind down with some Lucifer. So I'm going to hop off. But before I hop off, let me tell you guys, I have been enjoying Lucifer so much. Let me tell you, the Netflix show Lucifer is great. So I love theology. I love like learning about church and Bible history. And, you know, like I even watch like that Jesus TV show. I forget what it's called. It's a good one though, just because I just love researching that shit. And sometimes media can be fun. Now, I'm not saying that Lucifer is super like theologically correct. Okay, it's not. It has a lot of inconsistencies, but it still has that theological underpinning. So I'm a big fan of it. Now, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and head off. I will see you all tomorrow for some more debates. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope you all have a good rest of your night. See you tomorrow. Peace and love, guys. Bye-bye. For everybody over on YouTube, you already know that I say bye to y'all last. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye.